Good evening. Good evening to you all. Good evening to you. It's 8:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a beautiful, beautiful Sunday evening. And it is my privilege. It's my pleasure to be with you. How are you? How are you? Let me see. We got my speaker on. Let's put my microphone on. Yeah, I don't know. I was watching a bunch of videos about Boogie. I was watching a bunch of videos about Boogie, and I couldn't help it. I was interested in everything about Boogie tonight. Learning about this guy. That guy had a big YouTube following. I think he started in like 2006 or something like that. Holy cow. I wish I started in 2006. That'd be great. Okay, so it's good to be here tonight. Great to be with you. I spent all yesterday out in the sun with family. I had a big party, like I told you guys. We had a lot of people. And Andrea now knows with 100% assurity that she should listen to me about some things. She should listen to me about some things. I said, first of all, we need some outdoor trash cans. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, we don't have we're going to have food. We're going to have food galore. And by the way, I got way too much food and people brought food. She's like, Ethan, you have an apple pie in there. I'm like, I know. I plan on approaching that apple pie pretty soon and mercilessly. Just leave it in the fridge. I will eat it with my hands a little bit later on. But I said we need outside garbage cans. And not only that, we need some more seating around the pool. We need our pool needs to look like a public pool for this party. And she's like, well, we have, the this and this. I said, no, I'm going to go to the Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever it is. And I'm going to get some garbage cans and I'm going to get some more chairs and I'm going to put them around the pool. And so I went out and got these nice wicker pool chairs, and just dotted them around the pool. And she was like, how much were those? I was like, well, they weren't that expensive, but you'll see, we need them. She's like, you don't think that's too much? No, every single chair was filled. Every single chair had somebody sitting in it. And when they didn't have somebody sitting in it, they had a towel drenched over it, draped over it. People were claiming that chair for their own. And she said, I didn't realize. I was like, now we're prepared. She's like, we spent a lot of money on this party. I'm like, yes, but now we're prepared to throw parties all the time. All the time, we're ready. And the outdoor garbage cans did great. I went out and I got some ice. Why is there a little fly in here? Because the door was left open. People coming and going. All right, let's see. Indie Fan 500 is here. Metalhead, hello. Grim Jim 666. Josh Long said, you probably could have rented the chairs, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just have them at all times. I don't want to constantly rent them. I got plenty of room to store them. John Connor says, where is this coming from, Uncle A? What do you mean? Where's this energy, this passion coming from? My heart. Isabel Brokaw says, is Spider-Man a thing in the comics yet? It will be soon, I'm afraid. Of course it will. Look, they've already got Spider-Man hanging out way too much with the Human Torch. That is a bromance that is going to blossom. These weirdos at Marvel Comics, they don't understand how guys truly hang out. So of course it is going to turn into a sexual or romantic relationship soon. Let's see. Oh, I see, guys. Yeah. Adrian Blom says, EVS, you're red. Well, I was outside all day. I mean, I did I did stuff yesterday. I put up a big party tent. I was out in the hot sun. It was 90 degrees, getting this party ready. And all of us worked. Andrea and I were, and Hunter. Hunter worked the grill. Hunter's job was to make hamburgers all day. All of us said, boy, we really worked hard putting on this party that we didn't really enjoy it ourselves. It was work. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. We're just running around making sure people were entertained. And I was like, yeah, we really did rock it, though. It was fun. We didn't have any guacamole at the party. We served, so Hunter manned the grill and made great cheeseburgers. We had hot dogs. We sent away for a sandwich party tray or two, like 20, that feeds 20. And nobody touched those. Nobody wanted the sandwiches. Those were left over. We had to send them home with people. We had fruit. We had lots and lots of beer, soft drinks. But most of the people that came over were Mormon, though. So they didn't really they didn't get the beer. Queen Bee's here. Hello, Queen Bee. Good to see you. John Winkler says, Uncle Ethan, first time catching you live. How are you today? Good, good. Yeah, Andrea was like, are you going live? Are you doing a video today? You haven't done anything yet. And I'm like, I'm still beat up from yesterday. Like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm lying on my back. It's like I'm really tired. Like, I feel like sun scorched. I just feel tired. When you're out in the sun all day long, like it really does take a toll on you. Pindrop says, did Hunter have the babysitter over? No, she canceled. She was supposed to come and watch Ava, so that we could really, like, if we didn't have to chase Ava around, we probably could have enjoyed the party more. But we had to chase Ava around and just make sure she was okay. And she canceled. She was supposed to come over. She canceled like last minute. We're like, nah. We need another babysitter. I think we need two babysitters, one main babysitter and an alternate. Let's see. Oh yeah, Ryan Miller Art. Thank you for pointing that out. So before we get into today's subject matter, I'm letting people come in here. Scott Adams usually says, "Let me wait until 500 people get in here before I start the subject matter." Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. When he used to say that, I'd be like, 500 people? You're gonna talk to 500 people in here? That's crazy. We've already got 606, so technically we could go ahead and begin the show if we were, working from Scott Adams of Dilbert fames. Scott Adams, what a prognosticator! What a genius! That guy. I watched Scott Adams, all of his videos during the election. That guy was on the money every single time. I mean, he knew everything, and he had great explanations for the way people were behaving. I really gained a lot of respect. Even though I was never a fan of Dilbert, really, I would start reading Dilbert because of Scott Adams. That guy's very insightful. Wow, we're getting some super chats. Hi, Michael Roth. Thanks for $5. So are you saying they're going to reboot Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, but with Human Torch in the Firestar role? Wow, that would be something else. That would be, that seems likely to me. In fact, I'll bet you anything. Human Torch was supposed to be Firestorm or Firestar. I'll bet you they wanted Human Torch because that way they'd have Spider-Man, Human Torch, and Iceman. That would make more sense. But then they went, no, there's not enough diversity. Even in 1981, that wasn't enough diversity. So they had to create a new character who was on fire, but a woman. And that's how they created Firestar. New members, thank you for joining. Sean Forness, thank you. I appreciate you. Everyone who joins this channel, you're wonderful. I definitely appreciate it. You don't have to. Some people wrote to me and said, I can't afford to super chat. I can't afford to join your channel. What is it? Not canceled. Screen share was not canceled. Well, what the hell? I can't afford to join your channel. Well, you don't have to support this channel monetarily. Honestly, if you want to join or support this channel and throw me a little support, just hit thumbs up. That's all you really need to do. The money is great. I mean, it's really, really nice that you guys tip me and send super chats. But one of the best things that you can do for this channel, and it's free, is just to click thumbs up. And that sends a message to YouTube that something special is happening here. Not devil worship, not witchcraft, but something special. And that something special happens between you and me. I talk, I blather, you listen. And then you say, do it again. And I say, what, again? Okay, let's do it again. Before we get into the subject matter of the day, more shilling. This isn't shilling. Shilling means when you're lying about something. It's like you're lying about supporting something or being, for it or promoting it. No, I'm not lying about this. This is great. Cyberfrog Blood Honey team-up cover. This is the last week. I'm officially canceling this Friday at midnight. I will stay up Friday at midnight, and we are going to put an end to Cyberfrog Blood Honey, and then at that point, we are going to begin to fulfill. I am told I can expect to see copies of this week. Real copies, not just proof copies. And then this is finally going to be done. And I can't wait because it's affecting my mental health waiting for this. I got to be honest with you. And I know it's affecting you guys too. So we are going to come to an end with this. If you haven't backed Cyberfrog Blood Honey, you have 5 days, 5 more days to buy a copy. Buy many copies. Whatever you want to do, get your copy of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, because otherwise you're going to be on eBay going, why are these $7,000? why have they been marked up $7,000 in resale? And I'll be like, that's how great they were. And you had a year, to pick one up. So well, in all fairness, you had 2 months for the first cover, and then that closed. You had 8 days for the second cover, and then that closed. And I think this has been open since March or February. So between February and now, so, a total of about 8 months or so that you've had to pick up a copy of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Definitely appreciate all of your support. But just to let you know, finalized. We are closing it out. And a few people said keep it up until the 30th. I'm not going to. I'm gonna close it on Friday. We kind of talked about this last week, and I said I want to put like a final date on the end of this. And at first I said I'm going to close it tomorrow, and then that didn't seem reasonable. So we talked a little bit more and decided that this Friday would be the end. Death the Kid says you should check out The Tragedy of the Chosen One. It somehow actually made Luke decent. Well, I like Luke Skywalker. I think Luke is decent no matter what. Josh Long says, just announced Kevin Smith is doing He-Man. That's actually one of the things I want to talk about first, right away, in fact. Before we do that, we'll also go over and look at Ethan Van Sciver's Vampirella #1 red foil variant. Both of the links to both of these projects are in the description. This one is going to stay open a little bit longer. If you haven't picked up Vampirella #1 yet, or even if you have, maybe you want this version of it. This is my cover on that book, and it includes Cyberfrog. He's on there. It also includes the Vespus, the alien threat that is central to Cyberfrog Blood Honey. And we've worked Vampirella into it. Here she is. Look at her caressing this stinger. That's a stinger that she's got there, and she's like caressing it. That's venom dripping off of it. That doesn't look pleasurable or fun, but to her, it's no big deal because she's Vampirella. So this cover is going to be limited to however many we sell, and then we're going to cut it off. Of course, we are currently in fulfillment for the first Vampirella Cyberfrog cover. People are receiving their copies. They're also receiving their posters. You have an opportunity to get this cover, but what's special about it is it's going to be a special stock of paper, and the logo is going to be foil. So Vampirella is going to be foil. Now, the main one is going to be red foil, but you can also choose silver foil. You can also choose gold foil. You can get them signed if you'd like to. Or if you don't want a comic book, but you just want the poster, we've got that as well. 18 inches by 24 inches, a substantial sized print. I mean, oversized print, I would say. Beautiful, beautiful paper. And you have an opportunity to pick up one of those. If you want a hand-drawn sketch of either Vampirella or Cyberfrog on the comic book, those are available here as well. So the link's in the description. Have a look at it and get a copy of this for the Cyberfrog Completist. This would be the third project, the third kind of Cyberfrog project that I put up on Indiegogo. The third of many. Okay, real quick here. Dark Phoenix. How did this happen? Dark Phoenix ends its theatrical run as the lowest grossing X-Men movie ever. This makes me very, very sad. It makes me very sad. Dark Phoenix is one of my favorite storylines. Jean Grey is one of my favorite characters. I don't know how they could have mucked this up, but they certainly did. And the thing about it is that it's full of a cast of just pretty good performers. This person does not look like Jean Grey to me. I don't know. I just think Jean Grey is prettier than that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I don't want to be rude, but Jean Grey is supposed to be a beautiful, beautiful woman. I don't really dig it. It's official. Dark Phoenix is now the lowest grossing X-Men movie ever. The theatrical run has ended with $65.8 million domestically. Wow, that is sad. That is really, really sad. This is a lot lower than the previous record holder, the Wolverine, which was still able to earn $132.5 million in North America. That was the previous. So they've actually gone halves. They've gone halvesies here. Wow, they actually decreased by 50%. The cards were stacked against the final installment from the beginning, and now it looks like Disney may have withheld over $50 million in marketing, adding to the disastrous final numbers at the box office around the globe. Now, some people theorize that the reason why this movie did so poorly was because at the time, Sony was in negotiations with Disney, and these two movies, Dark Phoenix and also Captain Marvel, were so similar in theme. A woman who has fire powers, who can fly in the sky, who's fighting, the Skrulls. They had to actually change the Skrulls in the Dark Phoenix movie into just bland random aliens. There was so much about this movie that just kind of made it so that if Dark Phoenix had come out on time, Captain Marvel would no longer be able to claim that it was the first superpowered female heroine movie out of Marvel Comics. Jean Grey would have been. Jean Grey would have taken her rightful place as the first awesome female. And by the way, Jean Grey is awesome, female hero at the box office. So some people are saying that it looks like Disney deliberately crushed this movie, yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of feel like that may have happened. All right, internationally, Dark Phoenix did a little bit better. The movie was able to earn 252.4 million, but that's still pretty far behind the original X-Men movie, 296.3. Yeah. Why did this happen? Oh, extensive reshoots. Oh, release delay, date delays. Oh, yeah, Disney had nothing to do with that while they were negotiating purchasing Sony. Oh, no. Disney had nothing to do with any of this. Look, the ending had to be completely rehauled after it was revealed that it was going to be too similar to the MCU's Captain Marvel with the addition of the Skrulls. Oh, yeah, no. Hey, there's nothing to see here. This wasn't a deliberate sabotage by Disney. Look over there, squirrel. There's nothing. Yeah. Then there was the looming Fox and Disney deal that many knew from the start would be the end of this current. I'm sorry, Fox, not Sony. That would be the end of this current line of X-Men movies. Whatever the case may be, it looks like the project was doomed from the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, Fox. New member, welcome, Got the Frag. I appreciate you joining the channel. Thank you, my friend. That's fantastic. Spectrum Ball says, get me a foil poster and I will get that. Oh, that'd be interesting. I wonder if we could make foil posters. General Zod's Phantom Zone says, it did poorly because it sucks. Dark Phoenix killed my soul. Yeah, but it might have sucked for other reasons. I probably just sucked, honestly. Yeah. So I guess Disney's got a hold of the X-Men now and the Fantastic Four. And we're going to see how they will be incorporated into the MCU. For starters, it does not look like the aforementioned properties will be introduced into the upcoming MCU Phase 4, which is going to be so boring. Without an Avengers movie, without an Iron Man movie, it's going to be boring. However, they could very well end up with Phase 5, a few years away since Phase 4 concludes in November 2021 with Thor, Love and Thunder. Is that a lisp? That title sounds like a lisp. It would be Thor, Love and Thunder. But no, it's Thor, Love and Thunder. The box office information for Dark Phoenix come to us. All right, very good. Who cares? Damn it. And I swear to God, they did a lot of X-Men movies. They made almost too many X-Men movies. They were very frequent. But this one, which should have been good, it should have been an epic, they screwed it up. Imagine how the Dark Phoenix saga should have actually looked on the screen. It's a shame. It is very, very, very sad. But there's good news today. There's actual good news. Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is going to helm a Masters of the Universe limited series. It's funny. I was talking about Kevin Smith today. Andrea was like, do you have any Kevin Smith DVDs? I'm like, no. She's like, you don't even have Mallrats? I'm like, no. She's like, but you have a movie credit in that. I'm like, I know. I did some of the art in the opening credits. So like at the end of the movie, as the credits roll, you'll see my name. Oh, it's Ethan Van Sciver. I was like, yeah, I don't have it. And I also don't have the other thing that I have a movie credit in was a special thanks in Justice League. I don't have that either. I don't ever want to see any of those movies ever again. And she's like, oh. So I'm not really a fan of Kevin Smith in his movies, live action movies. But I will say this. When Kevin Smith works on superheroes, he does a good job when he finishes them. Boy, I'm full of just like backhanded compliments when it comes to Kevin Smith. Yeah, Kevin Smith is good when he finishes his work. He famously, I loved his Green Arrow. I don't think that was ever finished, his Green Arrow storyline. I think he did a Batman book called Amanamana Mamana. Amanamana Pieta, whatever. How do you pronounce that? Amanadapido. I don't know how to pronounce that word right now. But anyway, he never finished that either, I don't think. Batman Cacophony. Was that the book? Was that what I'm referring to? Shinto Ketchup calls me Eeyore Von Scribbler. That's not my name. All right, look. Here's the thing, though. He really, really is good at this, and so I love the idea of him taking this property and actually giving it some weight. I am this close to liking Masters of the Universe. When I was a kid, I think I preferred Star Wars. I think I preferred the Transformers. I took Transformers very seriously when I was a kid. I thought Transformers were my friends. You know, I watched the cartoon every day, and I felt so close to all of them. I felt like they were my pals. It's like I like jazz. You know, I like Ironsides. Who else did I like? I always got the worst thing. I got Ironsides. Was it Ironsides? I got that red truck. Like my mom and dad, I want to go back in time and just give them a kick in the butt because they I really wanted Transformers. I really wanted Star Wars things. My mom must have bought me R2D2 and C3PO 11 times. You know, I didn't want those ones. That's those I don't want I don't want the gay robot couple. That's not what I wanted. You know, I wanted almost anything else. I wanted Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. My grandparents knew better. I mean, you know, for my birthday, my 6th birthday, they got me the Hoth Han Solo and the, Snow Trooper. Ironhide. Thank you. It was Ironhide. So we got all these like cool race cars for the Transformers, and I finally get one Transformer. I wanted a Mega Supreme. I'm not getting a Mega Supreme. By the way, now that I look at a Mega Supreme, like now, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't get a Mega Supreme. That thing looked goofy, but it looked so cool to me when I was a kid. I got Ironhide. I don't want Ironhide. You know, I would have rather had Wheeljack. I want something cool. Ironside, the paralyzed dude. I always got the worst ones of everything. My mom would go out and get me the worst ones. You know. Anyway, I brought home a He-Man toy one time. My dad looked at it and he did say, "Son, you realize these are gay men." I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, they just are. I mean, if you look at them." I said, "Oh." He told me that when I was 8. In any case, uh, this project, which is pretty silly. I mean, He-Man and the Master of the Universe is a very silly property. It is. Why does Skeletor have a skull for a face and a muscular blue body? I don't understand that. I don't understand Skeletor at all. But Kevin Smith apparently is going to do, look, he's going to do the final battle. Look, Masters of the Universe Revelation. That's original. He's going to pick up where the 80s TV show left off. And I guess this is going to be good. Is it going to be good? People are excited about it. A radical return to Eternia. Revelation is a direct sequel series to the classic era of Masters of the Universe, featuring fan favorites He-Man, Orko, Cringer, Cringer, and Man-at-Arms. The story pits our heroic warriors and guardians of Castle Grayskull against Skeletor, Evil Lyn, Beastman, and the vile legions of Snake Mountain. But after a ferocious final battle, forever fractures Eternia, it's up to Teela to solve the mystery of the missing Sword of Power in a race against time to prevent the end of the universe. Hurry up. That's the end of the fucking universe. You know, pick up the pace. Her journey will uncover the secrets of Grayskull at last. This is the epic He-Man and the Masters of the Universe saga fans have waited 35 years to see. I got to admit, I'm interested. I'm in. Cringer will be cringier than ever. I am definitely interested. I'm definitely interested. I'm Adam, defender of Castle Grayskull. I can't wait. Chris77T says, I like Kevin Smith in the 90s, but now his stuff is as exciting as the 30s talkie. Oh, come on. I mean, it might be good. He can actually do some. I think Kevin Smith can bring some weight to this. I really think he can. I think he can bring weight to He-Man. I think he can make it a substantial and interesting thing. I will watch it. I hope the art is good. My question would be: is it going to be animated by like Filmation? Is it going to look the same as the original show? If he could do that, if he could get Filmation or whatever it is and make it look like the original show, but still make it good, that is something I'd be interested in. Imagine if all of that crap where they repeated animation over and over again. Imagine if somebody who could actually write took over and made something good out of that. I would be interested. And when I say interested, I mean I'd be like, I don't mean like, oh, I can't wait. I mean I'd be like, oh. I'd be like, oh yeah. I might watch one. I might watch one of those. And then I'll turn on Netflix, I'll watch one of those, and then I'll be like, what is this about a serial killer? Okay, I think I'll watch that. I think I'll watch another Netflix documentary about a serial killer or Hitler. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so what else is going on right now? This is troublesome to me as well. This is bothersome. Let's see how it is here. This showed up in my timeline today. This ableist piece of shit. See, that's not nice. This is, of course, Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner is a really good actor. I like him. He looks a lot like, you know what he looks like? Who's the guy from Firefly? Who's the guy from Firefly that everybody wants to be Hal Jordan? What's that guy's name? And he's in everything. I can't remember. I'm waiting for the chat. You guys in the chat will know. Nathan Fillion. Yeah, he looks like Nathan Fillion, his big brother. Like he'd be Nathan Fillion's big brother. Now, I've liked this guy. I've seen him in a bunch of movies before he was Hawkeye, but I really liked him in 28 Weeks Later, which is one of my favorite films of all time. I like all the 28 movies. I'm looking forward to 28 months or years later, whatever they choose to do. It's my favorite zombie thing ever. You guys are looking for more mummy news. There's no more mummy news right now that I can think of. There's no. I'll look for mummy news. Wait. Carl says, I can see Ethan sitting in front of the TV and it starts He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and Ethan will be like, this better not be porn. Better not be. Yeah. Andy Richter says, I look exactly like Renner in 28 Weeks Later. Really? Nathan Fillion hit with an ugly stick, maybe. I think they look similar. I don't know what it is. I just think they look similar. All right, so this guy goes, and you don't know who this isn't him. Don't put pictures of celebrities. Don't put pictures of celebrities as your avatar. That's not you. I don't know who it is, but it's not you. Is that Spider-Man? I think it's Spider-Man. Don't lie to people. People see that and think that's you. It isn't you. Hold on a second. Let me go back to this, and we're going to need sound. I learned how to do this. I think Cecil taught me. Cecil taught me how to do this, and it has been invaluable ever since. Hold on one second here. God bless Cecil. A lot of people are concerned about Cecil, and they hope he's okay. All right, so this ableist piece of shit never deserved to be Hawkeye. I'm actually angry. What did he say that was like ableist? You know what ableism is? Ableism is when you make fun of people with disabilities. You know, like you make fun, like or when you're like bigoted against people with disabilities, I would say. Not when you make fun of them, but when you actually have a bigoted opinion of them, or that you say, awful things about people with disabilities. So what could he have said? What could he have said? Let's find out. What could he have said to make this SJW on Twitter go, this ableist piece of shit never deserved to be Hawkeye? I'm actually angry. What could he have said? Did he use the R word? Did he call someone a midget? I hope he didn't call anyone a midget. I would never do that. The Anime Slayer says, you're not allowed to have a sense of humor anymore, EVS. Fuck. He didn't use preferred pronouns? Did he drop bombs on the Crips? These are all good questions. Let's find out. Let's find out what he did that made this guy go, this ableist piece of shit. And he never deserved to be Hawkeye. And I'm actually angry. By the way, the use of the word actually makes me doubt that you're angry. I'm actually angry. I don't believe you. You would just say, I'm pissed. You don't say, I'm actually angry. I would never say, believe it or not, I'm angry about this. To be honest with you, I'm angry. Steve Tierney, thanks for 10 pounds. He says, buy yourself a beer. I will. Thank you. All right, let's enjoy this clip together of Jeremy Renner. Here we go.
Not only in the movies, but in the comics. So just meeting you or like seeing you is such a big deal to me. But my question is, in the comics, Hawkeye is hard of hearing. But in the movies, that isn't really a threat.
What did you
say? Get it? She goes, in the comics, Hawkeye is hard of hearing, but in the movies, and he goes, "What? Wait, what'd you say?" You bigot. You ableist piece of shit. How dare you? I wish I was this quick-witted. When I'm actually in this same situation that he's in, I'm like, what? I don't know. Ask Gail Simone. I'm dumb. Well, I'm dumb now. You guys can see that I'm pretty dull-witted even now. All right, let's keep going. So she says, Hawkeye is hard of hearing. By the way, I didn't know Hawkeye was hard of hearing. I didn't know that about Hawkeye. And I read Hawkeye all through the 1980s, and I used to read Hawkeye, Avengers appearances. I didn't know he was hard of hearing. I missed that. Is that a new addition to Hawkeye's legacy, or just, was I not paying attention? Was I hard of attention? When did this happen? Do you guys know? Allegedly hard of hearing? Okay, so he made a joke. He said, what? Now let's check this out. He got a good laugh.
Hard of hearing in the comics, yeah.
That isn't really addressed, so what are your thoughts on that, or did you have any input?
It was the last part of that, sweetheart. He said about his dress.
Now he's playing it up. He's like, what was that, sweetheart? The last part of that? Something about his dress? Because she said, do you want to address that? Do you want to address that? What exactly is Jeremy Renner supposed to say? First of all, aside from him up here being funny and making jokes about not hearing her, which are funny, what's he supposed to do? Like, you realize the script wasn't written by him, and he's not the director. Nobody is instructing him. Nobody is putting scenes. The problem is that nobody is writing scenes for him to go, what's that? Who? And to mishear things. Now, that might add some comic value, If, like, Hawkeye was always mishearing things and like, was doing something else, and you're like, why are you doing that? I thought you said this. No, I said this. Like, that might be funny. But these people in the audience, or at least this woman, and also this guy, whoever's upset, are so dumb. Don't ask. Jeremy Renner's like, look, I'm just doing what I'm told to do. I don't know. What do you think? I actually read these comics? I don't read these comics. I'm like everyone else. I don't read comics. All right, let's keep going.
Not even joking. Just lean in a little bit. It legitimately is hard to hear.
What are your thoughts in the movie that he isn't hard of hearing? Because I think that was a big issue to me, just because I'm such a huge fan of his in the comics, and I thought that it really brought a lot of diversity in the comic world, and to not have that in the movie was a little sad.
It added diversity. These people, you get SJWs and they go, wait, you know, it's like I want people to be just like me in some way. There's something about me, and I want other characters. I want the characters in the movie to be kind of like me. I can't hear so well. I define myself like I'm basically a white woman, but I define myself. What makes me stand out and feel like a victim, something that I can complain about on Twitter and find my own little community of victimhood, is that I can't hear so well. So it really meant a lot to me. There was a hero who couldn't hear so well. You've already got a hero that can't hear so well. His name's Mr. Magoo. Go look up Mr. Magoo. Holy shit. How that is the icon of being hard of hearing, Mr. Magoo. And we say this all the time. We're like, what are you talking about? There's always been diversity. How would you know that he can't? How would you know you can't hear the movies? How would you know that there hasn't been a scene where he, you know, is hard of hearing? How do you hear the movies? Yeah. Oh, Magoo is blind? He can't hear either, can he? Oh, his hearing's fine? Shit, you guys just shut me up. Who's hard of hearing? Is there somebody? Maybe she's right. Maybe there isn't a hard of hearing character. All right, play button, let's go.
Yeah, I don't really dig into the comics so much because there's so many different worlds of that, from the old world and new world of Hawkeye especially. I don't know anything about him being hard of hearing. I don't know if I would have actually played that anyway. There's still, I think, a lot to discover with that character anyway. And I personally like the character because he's a human being. He just has high skill sets. I guess a superhero, but he has no superpowers. That's why I like him. So he's, I can access that. I can understand that. I don't know how Hemsworth flies around with a hammer and he can pull it off. I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know about that. So thanks for making me aware of that.
Yeah. This ableist piece of shit. This guy doesn't. So he gets hit with this bit of information from like comic book lore. That's just like, hey, you know, your character can't hear very well. You know, in the comics, he's hard of hearing. What do you think about that? He's like, I like my character because, you know, he's just a human being. I like him because he doesn't have any powers and he can, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's deep lore. So for this, he's an ableist piece of shit. This is Twitter. This is SJWism. This is who these people are. It is unbelievable. And then he goes on. Imagine trying to make a mockery of deaf people and imply they aren't normal. That's so fucking disgusting. Did you guys hear him say that? Did he say that? Did he make a mockery of deaf people? I'm pretty sure that he didn't do that. And did he imply? I got to listen to this again. Let's listen to this one more time. And what we're listening to right now is making a mockery of deaf people and implying that they aren't normal, because that's fucking disgusting. Let's check this out.
So just meeting you or like seeing you is such a big deal to me. But my question is, in the comics, Hawkeye is hard of hearing, but in the movies, that isn't really a threat.
What did you say?
Hard of hearing? Hard of hearing in the comics, yeah.
That's been really addressed. So what are your thoughts on that? Or just about me?
It was the last part of that you already said about his dress.
We're not even joking, just leave it in a little bit. It legitimately is hard to hear.
What are your thoughts in the movie that he isn't hard of hearing? Because I think that was a big issue to me, just because I'm such a huge fan of his in the comics, and I thought that it really brought a lot of diversity.
You know, I'm sorry, I have to stop this again. You know what, SJWs, seriously, you are reading a comic book about a superhero because you feel like it's a big deal to you that the hero's hard of hearing? God, it's just, what are you doing reading comic books? You're ruining comic books. You're ruining comic books. That's just weird. All right, let's go.
The comic world, and to not have that in the movies was a little sad.
Yeah, I don't really dig into the comics so much because there's so many different worlds of that, from the old world and new world of Hawkeye, especially. I don't know anything about him being hard of hearing. I don't know if I would have actually played that anyway. There's still, I think, a lot to discover with that.
Okay, so basically, so far, his comments have included one joke where he pretended not to be able to hear in order to imply that, yeah, Hawkeye is hard of hearing. See, I am hard of hearing, just like Hawkeye. Then he moves on to say, there's so much Hawkeye lore over over this long period of time that he's been in existence. And I'm not sure how I would have played Hawkeye being hard of hearing. Anyway, okay, let's go on.
That character anyway. And I personally like the character because he's a human being. He has high skill sets. I guess he's a superhero, but he has no superpowers. That's why I like him. Because I can access him. I can understand that. I don't know how Hemsworth flies around with a hammer. He can pull it off. I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I didn't know about that. So thanks for making me aware of that.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So again, now that I've listened to it a second time, did he make a mockery of deaf people? And did he imply that they aren't normal? I don't get it, man. I missed that. And I was listening this time. I was actually listening really hard. He said, yeah, look, there's a lot of Hawkeye to think about. He's like, and I don't know how I would have played hard of hearing. That's interesting. I don't know how I would have played him as hard of hearing, but also I like him because he's kind of like Daredevil. I like him because he's like Batman. He just isn't powerful. He doesn't have powers. He just does his own thing. I don't know how I would have played Thor with a hammer flying around, but that's interesting. That's good to know. Thank you very much. Fucking disgusting. SJWs just seek out reasons to destroy people and attempt to bring them to their knees. He goes, stop going so hard to defend a Nazi apologist. Look at this. He likes being a normal guy, which does imply that he thinks deaf people are abnormal. That's not what he said, you dickhead. That is absolutely not what he said. He said that by normal guy, he meant no superpowers. Mocks deaf people with the what comment. I don't think he was mocking anyone. Just horrendous. And then there's this, though. This interests me. He's got a whole list of things that Jeremy Renner has done wrong. He used the N-word twice in an interview. I didn't hear that. While defending the actions of his racist character. I didn't know anything about that. Choice quotes from an interview about his role as a neo-Nazi in the movie Ned. I didn't see the movie Ned. Describes the character as not really a Nazi and a poor, twisted soul. If you take it too seriously, you probably shouldn't be seeing the movie. Says in the movie, which is about a neo-Nazi falling in love with a black woman. It isn't about racism. To him, it's about the problem with people. It's about people with problems and how they choose to deal with them. I don't understand. Describes it as sweet and endearing. Uses the slur. What is this? It conflates trans women and cross-dressers. Oh, we mustn't do that. So this is, you are going to be seeing, I guess, on Twitter, you're going to be seeing SJWs attempting to string up Jeremy Renner for all of these sins, all of these crimes. Violence9 says, LMAO at using Wiki as a real source. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I had to pick a fight with these guys. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong to do it. But I really don't like this. And while I did that, a bunch of people came out at me and said that Peter Parker was bisexual, which is where the name of this chat came from. I didn't know Peter Parker was bisexual. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the direction that they're going to take him in. But I didn't know that they were going to do that. Hold on a second here. Yeah, this is what I learned. And by the way, one thing that's really weird about Twitter is the check mark situation. Do you guys realize that like SJWs really care about check marks? They really care about like check marks. If you have a check mark, they're shocked if you're not an SJW. Hold on a second. And I don't think I am. Some people would disagree. Let's see. He said, am I a terrible person for not being sympathetic to a biphobe? No, you're just a douchebag. But look at this. So I said that I called that guy a douchebag, and this guy goes, who the F gave him a certified account? Come get your man. Because I have a blue check mark. I said I was given a blue check mark back when Twitter awarded them based on actually having accomplished something noteworthy in the world rather than just being an enormous SJW twat on their platform. You can continue being jealous. And of course, that is a thing. And by the way, I declared myself a PON instead of a POC. I'm a person of note. I'm a noteworthy person. But all of this conversation led to this idea that Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy are bisexual legends. I got to think about that. I never thought of Peter Parker as bisexual before. And I never thought about Gwen Stacy either way. But I will say, I foresee the day when that will be the case. I think Marvel will actually make that happen. Even though there's been no evidence for it. No reason to think so. You know. What do you guys think of that? Yeah, I think so. People are saying Peter is not bi. Miles Morales is. I said Peter Parker is. Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. Kind of thing happens a lot in Marvel. So I don't know. You know. By the way, this cartoon does look good. I might actually watch this. It's pretty impressive. But that's the way it is. That is Twitter. Yeah, I'm noticing this more and more. I'm noticing people really attempting to just sort of find something to bring people down with. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to tolerate it. I do want to fight back. And you know, there are all kinds of reasons I think to get off of Twitter, but I think that culture will flourish unless people stand up. I think cancel culture is definitely like one of this generation's defining sins. I think it really hurts people. I think people who oppose it, people who believe in justice, like I do. I believe in justice. Should actually stand up and fight social justice wherever they see it. It's poisonous. You know, it's really bad for people. And again, you know, it's used to destroy lives. I can't tolerate that. All right. So Mark C says, Uncle E, can you explain to me why Jeremy Renner is under fire? I tuned out of Twitter for 8 hours and I missed 2 news cycles. That's why he pretended to be deaf, I guess. I think that's all he did. I mean, I studied that clip pretty closely. And all I saw was him make a joke about being hard of hearing because somebody said, why wasn't Hawkeye hard of hearing in the movies? And again, you know, that's it's like you can only do what is written in the script, really. You know, it's like the director, the producer, all of these people should have let Jeremy Renner know that they wanted Hawkeye to be hard of hearing if that is indeed the case. I think he was kind of dumbfounded by that. Andrew Rotten says, today I joined the Uncle Club with you, Uncle Ethan. Hey, congratulations, your brother or sister had a kid, I guess. That's fantastic. I'm an uncle many, many, many times over in real life, an uncle. Michael Ross says, so are you saying they're going to reboot Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, but with Human Torch in the Firestar role? Manic Boy Production says, where did those sandwiches actually go, EVS? I don't know. I sent them home with people, with relatives, and said, here, eat these because we can't eat them. But I did. I mean, there's so much food in the house right now. It's crazy. Scott McCullough says, thank you, Comicsgate. Door Kickers is funded. 4 more days to go. Door Kickers is a really cool Indiegogo project. I'm going to see if I can find that real quick and show it to you. I've meant to have Scott on the show, but I haven't really done it yet. Let me see. Door Kickers. Is that it? I think this is it right here. Yeah, I didn't know it's called Panzer Demon. This looks cool as hell. All right, let's actually look at this together. Door Kickers by Scott McCullough. Door Kickers Panzer Demon. Special ops use magic and advanced weapons to take on horrific otherworldly creatures. This artwork looks fantastic, dude. I mean, this looks really, really great. You know how hard it is to draw a gun? To draw it from this angle, to draw it from any angle like this. It's a challenge. I guess you would have to use like model. You'd have to use like a digital model. Computer generated model. All right. Look at this. The art looks great, man. The art looks really, really good. This is a Narwhal cover that they got. But yeah, this is impressive as hell. Yeah. This is the first time I'm actually looking through the art. I just saw the cover before, so I'm reviewing it. It looks good. It looks really, really good, Scott. Congratulations on getting funded. I completely understand why that happened. People kind of will seek out quality. You're at $5,215 of your $5,000 goal with only 4 days left. You should be able to get it up there. We should get it up to 10 in 4 days. We could definitely get it up to 10. Awesome. So if you guys haven't backed this project yet, I mean, take a look at it. Consider it. It looks pretty good. It looks really, really good. And we get Scott in here to talk about it. I'm going to do another Comicsgate live stream. All right, let me read these. Let's see. Spectrum Ball says, get me a foil poster. I'll back that. Got the Frag is a new member. General Zod's Fandom Zone says, it did poorly because it sucks. Dark Phoenix killed my soul. Got the Frag says, my dog died this weekend, but your show helped cheer me up. Thanks for being entertaining. I'm sorry about your dog. That's awful. Yeah, we lost our rabbit, and it was miserable. It felt awful to lose my rabbit. You know, that was just a couple months ago. I can't imagine having a dog like that. Somebody, a pet that's that kind of attached to you with the hip. My rabbit was basically just like, leave me alone. You know, your dog was, dogs are different. So I'm sorry about that. I'm glad the show cheered you up. Orbital 1970 Goat says, at least your parents bought actual Transformers. I always got off-brand brand generic stuff. I got a lot of off-brand generic stuff, and I always bought it myself. Like I'd find it in local drugstores, just like cheap Japanese knockoffs of the miniature Transformers. I'd buy all of those. God, I just wanted Transformers so bad. I have Devastator. I have like the new re-release of Devastator that they put in Walmart, and I'm always thinking about opening it. Devastator, all of the combination Transformers, combiners, I wanted them so bad. What was the good guy? Supreme? No, it wasn't Supreme. Oh, I can't remember now. There was a good guy version of Devastator that came out around the same time. I don't even remember what he was called now, but he was awesome. I mostly wanted Devastator though. So I've got that. I'm going to open that up at some point. Exterminatus says the 2004 reboot of He-Man had so much potential. Go back and watch it, Uncle E. It explains Skeletor, and it has good character development. Does it explain his origin and where he came from? Superion, that's what it was. Superion. Yes. Superion was awesome. I would watch that, I guess. People Circus says, hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? That is one of the worst songs ever. And people pretended to like it. And so I cry sometimes when I lie on a bed just to get it all out, what's in my head. Holy cow, that song sucked. CFan85 says, is Iron Maiden the PC version of Iron Man? Unhinged Crank says, Hail Sunshine. Unhinged Crank says, this is a new unknown sensation, huh? I do believe I'm possibly actually angry, perchance. Yeah, people just say that, and it's like when you're actually pissed off. Here's another thing. Overuse of the word honestly, and I find myself using this a lot. I think it's disingenuous to go, honestly, blah, blah, blah. It's like when you say honestly too much, and honestly is a crutch. You use I fall back and I just go, honestly, blah, 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 blah. And I use it as kind of a way to sort of build the way I'm about to express my next thought. But it seems disingenuous. And it's the same way to actually say, to say I'm actually angry, to come out and put that word. Like, believe it or not, I'm feeling emotions right now. I don't believe you. Cumberbatch Pepper Pod says Hawkeye in the comics has no wiener. Why do you? Is that true? Do you think, is Hawkeye penisless in the comics? Professor Romandev says, given the option, Cyberfrog 2 gets 1 million backers, but your voice is forever stuck as your soy boy impression. Would you do it? 1 million backers? That's a lot of money. That's a good question. Like, how much money? There's a price for everything. How much money would it cost for you to, first of all, never be able to draw comics again? Or, yeah, to have your voice permanently soyed? It'd be a lot of money. Because I think if I talked like my soy boy voice, I'd probably eventually, it would drive my wife crazy. I think Andrea loves me enough. She'd be like, I understand. I understand that you're permanently talking like this because of some deal you made with the devil. I'm like, I'm telling you, sweetheart, I can't help it. This is just the way it is because I had a choice, like to get 2 million, to get 1 million backers on Cyberfrog, and that's like a lot of money. But now I talk like this, but I only did it because I love you. Do you understand? I only did it because I wanted to take care of you and the kids. I hope you understand that. And she'd be like, okay, well, just shut up for the rest of our lives. I love you, but shut up for the rest of our lives. I'd be like, can do. That's fine. That'd be horrible. How would I do anything? I could never talk again. Is it worth it? All right, hold on a second. 1 million backers. Let's assume that every backer bought at the $25 level. That's $25 million minus the expenses, which would probably net me, I don't know, maybe $6 million total. That's how much I would have in the bank. No, it's not enough. I would have a soy voice for $1 billion. I mean, I would have to have FU money like you wouldn't believe. I would have to have FU money so that I don't care if people are laughing at me. $2 million? You would do it for $2 million, CJN? No, it isn't 2 million. It says 1 million backers. 1 million backers. So the question is, so that means 1 million people bought your comic book. And my comic book is $25. $6 million to talk like that all the time? Yeah. Yeah, it would have to be a lot more money than that. Somebody told me that $10 million is FU money. If you had $10 million, you would be bulletproof. You could do whatever you wanted. I guess I would like $10 million then, but not to have a soy voice. If I had $10 million, I could do whatever I wanted, and that would be fun. Brown Guy Jin says, he said thank you at the end. The Fiend. Yeah, he did. He was super polite. He smiled. He laughed through it. He made jokes out of it. SJWs do not have a sense of humor at all. SJWs have no humor. They don't understand. They don't read social cues. They don't know how to be human beings. You can make of that what you will. But like they're going to ask him that question and he's going to respond because he's in front of an audience. He's in front of an audience of people, and he's going to do what you're supposed to do when you're in front of an audience full of people. You make a joke and you try to make them laugh. Razak says, is Spidey really bi now? No, he's never been bi, but he will be soon. I told you Wolverine was gay, and I was right. When I wrote that song, Wolverine is gay, nobody believed me. Now, as we saw Wolverine's romance with Hercules. I was like, I told you. Why would you say that? Why would you say Wolverine is gay? Well, because he will be gay, and he was gay. But yeah, they don't understand that, so they're just gonna attack Jeremy Renner for it. He laughed when asked if blah blah blah. He laughed. Are you guys sure Mr. Magoo doesn't have a hearing impairment too? He's just blind. Are you sure about that? Yeah, I guess I'm confusing it. Like he would talk to objects. He would think that objects were people. I think that's where I got confused. Raven C. Black says, EVS, you need at least $1 billion after taxes to have FU money. You don't need, I don't know what I would do with $1 billion. $1 billion is no, $1 billion is you can literally you can create whatever you want. But just to live life and not worry about anything, to have no worries for the rest of your life, and to not worry about getting sued or anything like that's $10 million, you know, I think. You know, you can invest in what you want. Yeah, I'd invest it all in Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing, by the way? Let me just check real quick. We got to check on Bitcoin. I'm so sad that somebody put that song in my head. Oh, it's at 10,300. All right, it's still staying down there. It's still down. All right, yeah, I'm really sad about that. Michael D2 said, saw some of your old videos earlier today. Look at how much thinner you were. LOL. Just kidding. But I don't know how you were always such a ham. Love it. You think I was thinner before? I don't know. I feel like I'm thinner now. You mean if I go back to my early YouTube videos, I'm going to look thinner? Micah D2 says, how was the party? I thought it was fun. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. Canary Noir is a new member. Thank you for joining. Kenny Jones says, Uncle E, how far along are your Cyberfrog trading cards? They're all done. I mean, all I need to do is just write the blurbs on the back, and I haven't bothered with that yet. I mean, I'm not doing it. First of all, it'll take a day to write the blurbs on the back of the trading cards. I'm not worried about it, and I'm not going to even think about it until Blood Honey's in people's hands. I can't, honestly, I wake up every day and I'm like, it's another day without Blood Honey. That's what I think. I'm so irritated by it. It needs to come out. And it's like, it's taken a long time. I mean, at this point, it's been 2 months. 2 months since it's been finished. And, I guess that's normal. I guess at DC Comics, it would take 2 months after you finish something for it to come out. But it feels a lot longer right now because I've got people actively going, where is it? Is it coming? Unhinged Crank says, lisping. Listen, honestly, I'm actually miffed, bothered, angry even. Crumpthing Catkill says, Renner found Moopy. Old Meeply might be the next Cancun Tattler. Oh, really? What's the Cancun Tattler? I don't know what that is. Bam 1030 says, Uncle E, you should wear a cape. Yeah, I should. I think I should. Like a big Liberace cape. With diamonds all over it and fur. I would have to adjust my wardrobe. If I were a billionaire, I would dress like Liberace. I wouldn't be myself. People would say, people who say, look, he's so rich, but like he hasn't changed a bit. Like that wouldn't be me. I would change 100% entirely. I'd be a different human being, and I would be an a-hole, a much bigger a-hole than I am now, if you can imagine that. How would I be an a-hole? Well, I mean, I'd have one thing that I really want is I want doo-wop singers behind me who would repeat in song the last 3 words of everything I said. Like I'd be Frankie Valli. I'd have the 4 Seasons behind me, just 3 of them though. And then every time I said anything, if I said, if I were reading your super chat and said Renner found Moopy, old Meeply might be the next Cancun Tattler, they'd be behind me like the next Cancun Tattler, like that, wherever I went. And I'd make everybody have to deal with that. That's one way I'd be an a-hole. There's so many ways I'd be an a-hole. I think I would also play the piano. I think I'd play the piano in hotel lobbies. While people were trying to sleep. Unhinged Crank says, you should wear a shirt you wore 35 years ago. I don't have one. 35 years ago, I would have been 9 years old. It would probably have Snoopy on it if I did have one. The shirt would have Snoopy on it. What other ways could we be a-holes if we were billionaires? Yeah, I would pay my backup dancers well. Black Can 87, let me be one of your backup dancers, Uncle E. You bet. But I would definitely dress like Liberace. I would have rings on all my fingers. Like, that's sleazy when you see somebody who like is super Las Vegas performer, and he's got big, fat, chunky rings on every finger on his hands. I would definitely do that too. I would wear sunglasses indoors. I could do that now. I mean, I don't see why I don't do it all the time. I don't think I have any sunglasses in here right now. Ethan, EVS and the 5XLs. That'd be the name of my group, the 5XLs. I wouldn't light up $100,000 in front of the homeless. Like, I would give money away openly. That's one way I wouldn't be an a-hole. I'd be like, here's $1 million. I'd be like, don't spend it on booze, though. Are you going to spend it on drugs? That's one thing I would do. But I wouldn't want to hurt anyone. I just want to annoy people. Looks like the... are we back yet or no? F. It froze. Oh, to repeat, I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to annoy them. If I had $1 billion, I would not bother the homeless people by burning it in front of them. I would give them money. I would give them a lot of money. I would say, here you go. Here's $1 million. Don't spend it on drugs or booze. Promise. I was like, do you want some food and $1 million? Okay. By the way, I would definitely make a YouTube video of my generosity. And as I gave away $1 million, like just packs of, like, I'd say, I'd go to the bank and I'd say, I need a million. I need like $100 million, but I need them in packs. Like, can you get $1 million to look like this in cash? Like make it that big and then wad it up. Like, all right, that's what I need. I need 100 of those. And I'd walk around. I would be the biggest YouTuber in the world. I think what I would try to do with my money is I try to get more subs on YouTube. Because what I would do is I'd walk around where the homeless people are prevalent, but no blue states. Like, I'm not going to Seattle. I'm not going to California. Not going to do that. I would go to a red state or at least a purple state where they had a bad homeless problem. Probably a purple state. And I'd let everyone know that I was a Trump supporter. And I would go around and I would have a camera filming me with my Make America Great Again hat, giving people like $1 million, a stack of $1 million. Rise up. I'd say, I'd give a homeless person $1 million. I'd say, you worked so hard for this. You waited so long. Here it is. It's here now. You can do whatever you want. And then their cameras would be filming me. And they try to give me a hug. And I'd be like, I don't hug. I'm not a hugger. How about a fist bump? Like that. And it would be the biggest virtue signal in the world. It'd be so awesome. I just lost like 7 subscribers talking about this. It'd be so awesome. And then you'd put it on what would the music be? Okay, so it would be in slow motion. The video would be in black and white. And the music behind it would be Kenny Loggins' Meet Me Somewhere, Meet Me Halfway Across the Sky. Meet me halfway across the sky. Here's $1 million. It's the least I can do. Out where the world belongs to only you and I. And then a shot of me looking out into the bay, looking concerned as the camera revolves around me, like silently in slow motion, thinking about all the ways that I'm saving the world. Meet me some halfway across the sky. Make this a new beginning. And I'd be like, here's $1 million. Of another life. Meet me halfway across the sky. It really would be, when I say that I'm the world's most humble man. Yeah. Last Crusader points out that maybe the song should be, even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. That's the wrong message. That's not the message that I want to do. Artsy says, good thing you aren't rich. Why? Giving 10% of it away. Pissing away 10% of it to get 100,000 views on YouTube. The ad revenue isn't going to make up for it. Matthew Lemon says, we all know you're lying when you say you're humble. Aretha Bunham says, you sound like a commie. What? Wrong. No, it's charity. Commies want other people to have their money taken from them. I'm saying conservatives give their money away voluntarily. That's what I would be doing. I'd be doing it to store up gifts in heaven with Jesus, not here on earth. Benjamin says you could buy 100 million Rose Ticos. Probably 200 million right now. Probably 200 million. Honestly. Make this a new beginning of another life. Yeah, they're really trying to hurt my channel. Thank you, Tweeter Trash, for pointing out that, YouTube doesn't appreciate my charitable giving. They don't appreciate my attitude about things. And so they recommend toys and children's cartoons when you watch my videos. That's not good. Should I follow this song with Danger Zone? You give people $1 million right into the danger zone. No, meet me halfway. What's another good song that I could use? I gotta find another good song. The autoplay list next up is complete garbage. I know. I don't know why they're doing that. In a way, they're doing it to punish me because I'm doing too much live streaming and not enough little videos. They like it when I make short videos, but playing with the boys. It doesn't have to be Kenny Loggins. It could be something else. It could be a Whitney Houston song. I believe the homeless are the future. Pay them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them $1 million to make it easier. Just have like a rewritten version of that. Yeah. Always look on the bright side of life. I don't know about that. Here's $1 million. $2 from Micah D2. Another good song, Don't Stop Believing. I can play that. Yeah. I play Don't Stop Believing while I'm giving people money. I don't think the Butter song is appropriate. Captain Wrong Thing says you got to stop singing. Seriously. I'm not singing seriously. I'm singing for fun, like joking, It's so you haven't even heard me sing seriously yet. When you do, that's going to change your life. Yeah. Could be the algorithm. Why is YouTube recommending Peppa Pig? Are they trolling EBS? Yes, they are. Peppa Pig's face, I don't know how they get away with this. Hold on a second. Whoops. All right. This is obvious to anyone who looks at this for too long, like I have, you know. But it is true. The Peppa Pig, and some of you are not going to like this, but this is the truth. Peppa Pig is a total "Hey Mike" situation here. This is clearly a scrotum and a stubby penis that somebody drew eyes and a smile on. That's all this is. Scrotum. Draw eyes on it. That's all it is. Why do they do this? Why do they allow kids to look at this? All right, now you guys are seeing it. Maybe that is why Peppa the Pig is in my recommended videos right now. It's got 2 pee holes. Well, they just drew an extra pee hole in there. Why did they do that? Seriously, that's all this is. Somebody drew this and went, they went, and they drew a smile in the mouth and eyes, and ears on it. All right. I'm not trying to ruin things for you guys. Some of you are like, why does Ethan ruin everything? I'm not trying to. I'm trying to enhance your experience on the internet and in life. I'm trying to make things more interesting for you. I'm trying to make you guys understand. Most of the cartoons that you see are cries for help. When you're looking at cartoons today, when you're looking at things that are on TV, they're one of 2 things. They're an attempt to edify you or they're a cry for help. And it's important that you identify which of those things any given cartoon is. Cal Arts entirely cries for help. Was He-Man a cry for help? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was an attempt to edify you in some weird way. Manic Boy Productions, you got to learn the song "What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding." Yeah. Special on Netflix, EBS ruins your tunes. Ruins your tunes. It's a cry for help. I watched a 45-minute video by some weirdo. And people are like, will you make a response video to this? I'm like, I don't know how to do it because it's a 45-minute video that's like the fandom menace exposed. And this guy has professional editing equipment. This guy made a 60 Minutes episode, a nerdy 60 Minutes episode about the critics of Star Wars. That's a cry for help. I mean, he would say, no, it's you guys who were crying for help. No, we're having fun just laughing at shitty Star Wars. You're the one who's making a 60-minute video, 45-minute video. This would be 60 minutes if it had commercials in it for television broadcast. Hating on Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Why would you do that? Why would you hate on Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers? What did he ever do? 100% correct. I did. Somebody said you actually watched the whole thing. I did. I watched the whole thing. I mean, this is somebody who needs help, and we're not reaching out to people enough. When you see Peppa Pig and you realize that it's a penis and a scrotum, what do you do about it? How do we make the world a better place from there? Most of the time when people are making cartoons, by the way, what is Cyberfrog except for an attempt to edify you? Honestly, Cyberfrog is an attempt to edify, entertain, bring you close. Cyberfrog is Cyberfrog is everything a comic book should be. The other people are just left and right, just asking to be held. They're asking for hugs. People are angry in their cartoons. Why She-Ra, Princess of Power? Why does she look like young Orlando Bloom? Why? It's a cry for help. Why? She's experienced some sort of loss that has resulted in anger and fear. That's why that cartoon looks the way it does. It's a cry for help. Peppa Pig does not need to be a villain in Cyberfrog. Absolutely not. Captain Wrongthing says you can't whack off to Cyberfrog, though. What are you whacking off to She-Ra, Princess of Power? I hope not. Goodness sakes. Yeah, Force User says, what is with the auto playlist? Is this a YouTube gay up? Do the math. Do the math. And that's why I ask you guys to join the channel if you can. There's the there's the join button. Hit that join button, and then, look, I can keep doing this. Otherwise, everybody who watches my channel gets sent off to watch Bob the Train ABC special. Why? I don't know. I don't know why that's something that happens. John Malin, do you have a comment? No. John Malin has no comment. I'm not surprised by that. John Malin keeps it all inside. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to consider Cyberfrog Blood Honey, the team-up cover. That's Bill Clinton. He's very upset. He's saying, I did indeed. He's saying, I did indeed have a relationship with that woman, Monica Lewinsky, that was wrong. And then they're like, sir, cut the feed. We got to get you somewhere safe, because this is what's happening. Cyberfrog Blood Honey is fun. Cyberfrog Blood Honey is about an alternate future. It's an alternate timeline in which, in the year 1998, right at the moment, Bill Clinton was giving his speech to the American people about how he had lied and how he had indeed used a young woman for a cigar humidor. Time changed. Everything changed at that point because we were invaded by giant alien hornets or wasps known as the Vespes. Vspz is how it's spelled. There are like no vowels except for one Y. And they came down and they changed the world forever. Cyberfrog was sent here from another world. He was sent here from another world, one world, which had figured out that this invading, conquering swarm, which went from world to world, destroying everything, destroying culture, destroying life, turning entire planets and all creation into nothing but a filthy beehive, exploiting the hard work, the talent, the people of those worlds, enslaving them, using them like cattle, and ultimately destroying those worlds and moving along. And one friendly, benevolent sphere out there somewhere in the cosmos had actually dealt with and successfully beaten this swarm, which again moves from world to world. And they said, we are going to send the solution to all of this to every single planet that is in the way of, because we can anticipate where these people are where these bugs are going. We're going to send a representative to actually fight them and defeat them the way that we know how they need to be beaten. And they sent this one thing. They sent an unborn Pirani, that's the name of the world, Pirani, child to Earth, accidentally became a frog instead of a human, accidentally encountered a frog instead of a human being, became Cyberfrog, protector of Earth, representative of the Pirani people, and kind of a diplomat. And Cyberfrog, is here. He's here just to stop this from happening. So this is the story of that. This is Cyberfrog Blood Honey. It is, he's got a brother, by the way, named Salamandroid. They actually accidentally sent a twin possibly accidentally. And that twin met a salamander instead of a human being, became Salamandroid. So Salamandroid and Cyberfrog versus this alien swarm. This comic book is the best thing that I've ever done in my career. Every panel is a joy. It's a visual splendopia. It's a cornucopia of goodness and fun. And I hope you enjoy it. If you've backed it and you've been waiting all this time for it to come out, I spent so much time drawing this comic book and making it exactly the way I wanted to make it, making it perfect. Each one of these panels on this page is a separate cover. It could be a cover. Each one of these panels could be a poster in and of itself. That's how good this book is. So I invite you to back this comic book. It ends Friday. It's been available for a long time, but it's coming out, and it is going to be unavailable for purchase after this Friday. We're closing out the campaign. It'll be done. And then we're moving on to Rainbow the Brute. So there you go. Let's see. King Achura says, do these wasps speak English? And they have any human slurs they use? Yes, they use all of the... no, they don't. I was going to say they use all kinds of bad words, but they don't do that. They do. You will find out about their language, though. But seemingly, no, they don't use language. They just merely infest and destroy. Michael Richter says, Wee Man and the admins of the universe against Pepe Ernst Blofeld Pig. A lot of people are concerned about Pepe the Pig being a penis. Johnny Dollar says, have you drawn what Cyberfrog would look like as a human? No, but I will. All coming up. All coming up. So we've got this, and then obviously also in the description, there are links for these campaigns in the description. Ethan Van Sciver's Vampirella #1 red foil variant. Let me tell you about this situation here. We don't talk about this enough. So SJWs in the comic book industry think that Comicsgaters or anyone who aligns with Comicsgate can no longer work in the mainstream. This is not so. They are lying. But to be honest with you, their constant harping on things like that does put the fear of God into some publishers who do not want to be harassed by SJWs. Anti-Comicsgate is literally a harassment and hate movement that projects that onto Comicsgate. Comicsgate's only purpose is to be a good customer service movement that creates great comics that are fun, that don't insult the readers. That's our goal. It's a lofty goal to not insult the people who read our comics. We're trying our hardest to make that happen. Other people cannot seem to make that happen. But that's all it really is. And so people, SJWs in the comic book industry who are desperate to hang on to their tenuous hold of this dying comic book industry, they want to rule over an industry that has collapsed underneath them. Like to say that, oh, well, yeah, look, if you align with Comicsgate, you can never use any of these characters. Not true. Obviously, it's not true, and that's why I'm doing Vampirella covers. There are people in the comic book industry who are brave enough to stand up to these social justice warriors and say, this isn't about your nonsense. This isn't about your particular brand of mental illness. This is about making money. In an industry in which, people are actually losing their shirts right now, comics are not selling very well. You have to go way out of your way to make a decent, to make a comic book sell decent numbers. Most books sell beneath the line of royalties, which is 40,000 copies. Out of the top 500 in comics right now, only the top 48 for the last month was sold over 40,000. Everything from 49 all the way down to 500. These books sold less than 40,000, much less than 40,000. That's the state of the comic book industry right now. So some very canny people who are in the industry who are not afraid of SJWs, but actually just want to make money. How do we make money? Are now looking at Comicsgate and Comicsgaters and saying, let's talk. Let's talk. So this is my second Vampirella cover. The first one drove them absolutely insane. When SJWs found out that Dynamite was in this deal with me, to use Vampirella to make covers to sell to you guys. They went absolutely insane, and they started sending all kinds of threats to Dynamite. They started to try to contact people who were working for Dynamite Comics and say, maybe you shouldn't work for Dynamite Comics, et cetera, et cetera. They did their whole thing, the thing that they do, which is evil. And Dynamite Comics stood fast. They stood firm. They ignored these SJWs. They ignored them. Why? Because look, Cyberfrog did really, really well. The first Vampirella cover that we did that closed out that people are receiving now, that cover clearly made money. Just one variant cover, we made almost $70,000. Let's do it again. Let's do it again and again and again. And let's do more stuff. And why not? Why isn't? At what point did this industry become about appeasing crazy people instead of making money? How did that happen? I guess we can pin down roughly the year in which that started to happen, but why did it happen? How did the idea of not making money but appeasing crazy people? I don't understand. I'll never understand that. I'll never relate to that. So this is what we did. I mean, I did the first cover. It shut everyone up. All of my critics, it shut them up. There were people in the highest levels of Marvel Comics who were betting that the first Vampirella cover would not do well. They lost that bet. And we've got this new one. Now, I said with the first cover, which you can see over there. Can you? Well, no, it's on the other side. But on the first cover, I just made a regular cover. On this one, I just said, let's do something special. I mean, this book, Vampirella #1, which because of, I believe, the defiance that Dynamite Comics has shown in the face of what is killing this industry, the illness that is killing the comic book industry. They've stood up to it. Christopher Priest, the writer of the comic book, explicitly stated his belief that there are only two genders. Believe it or not, that's a controversial statement. Saying that there are two genders is a controversial statement in the year 2019. Christopher Priest was warned by Newsarama, by agents within Newsarama, comic book news website, that maybe he'd better walk those words back. Maybe he'd better agree that perhaps there are 67 genders instead of two. Christopher Priest, who is black, who is probably 60. I don't know how old he is. He's probably 60. He said, look, I'm an ecumenical minister. I am not going to walk that back. That is just, I'm sorry. This is what I believe. I'm going to stick by it. You cannot ruin my life. You cannot ruin my career over this. And believe it or not, Vampirella #1 has sold 130,000 copies now. Dynamite stood right by him. They were not afraid. Do not be afraid of social justice warriors. Don't be afraid of them. So, look, now Vampirella #1 is the first comic in a long time from a company that's not Marvel and not DC to crack the top 10. It was number 10 in sales for the month of July. Probably much better than that because it didn't take into account a lot of the variant covers that they had. It's probably closer to 9 or 8. Fantastic. So, look, I took that comic book. I took a copy of Vampirella #1, and this is the. Let me get this here. All right, this is the book itself. And the art is beautiful. I did look at Vampirella with her bat wings on. It's a good looking comic. And I put my own cover on it. But what I'm doing is I'm putting red foil logos. So it's going to say Vampirella, but this is going to be made of foil. It's going to be shiny and red. It's going to be very pretty. I think the paper quality is going to be better than this too, just for the cover. I kind of said, yeah, I want this to be, Again, I want this to look like it's the 90s when comics look good. When comics actually looked good. I mean, look, the packaging of comics used to be so much more appealing. There was a real sense of value, to these comics back in the 1990s. We need to bring that back, especially since comics are now a copy of Vampirella $3.99. It's like Venom right now is $8 or Absolute Carnage or whatever it is. We got to do better than that. We should have more value for our comics. So this is going to have a red foil logo or silver or gold. That's up to you. You can choose. It can be signed or not signed. You can just get the poster if you don't want the comic book. But this is available now, and it's going to be available for another 21 days. At the end of the 21 days, I'll take a look at it, and I'll decide if I want to run it for another 30 or just, move on to something else. But it's a limited time thing. It will not be available for very long. If you missed the first one, you missed the first one. I mean, we're not going to be reoffering that. Or we're not going to be reoffering any of the Vampirella covers that we do. It's just a one-time thing. But thank you guys for your support of all of that. I just want to remind you also, one last time, Door Kickers, Panzer Demon. Take a look at this campaign as well by Scott McCullough. Maybe throw him a little bit of love. His book looks really, really cool. Just look up Door Kickers on Indiegogo, and you should find that pretty easily. All right, let me read some super chats. Let's see, a couple super chats came in. A lot of them did. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Unhinged Crank says, you should wear a t-shirt you wore 35 years ago. Pilgrim Driver says, would you dress like Elvis on a live stream? I've been known to do weirder things. I mean, I would, if I had an Elvis costume, I probably would. Unhinged Crank said, damn you. Manic Void Production says, you got to learn the song What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. Unhinged Crank says, Kevin Smith is doing He-Man. It's called He-Him. Grand Inquisitor says, yo, Uncle E, is that trans hat? Yo, Uncle E, that Trans Am hat look fly dog. Well, thank you. Michael Richter says, Wee Man and the admins of the universe against Peppa, Ernst Blofeld, Pig. King of Churus said, okay, I read that one. And King of Churus said, a possibility of a Vampirella crossover in the story. Dude, there are all kinds of possibilities. One of the things that I wanted to do is say, look, in the year 1998, all of these indie characters that kind of existed in 1998, they fought the Vespers too, and many of them died. I think the Turtles exist in Cyberfrog's world. I think they didn't make it. Maybe one of them survived. If I could get the Turtles, I would just say that all of them went down except for Michelangelo. And Michelangelo now in the year 2019, a middle-aged mutant Ninja Turtle. He's the last of them. God, that would be cool. That'd be so cool. So I would do that. I talked to Billy Tucci and said, you want to draw the death of She? In 1998, do you want to draw the death of Vampirella? Vampirella wouldn't die, I don't think, but, Random McFranderson says, don't pull a Rian Johnson with the Ninja Turtles. It's an alternate reality story. It would just be like, look, when the swarm came, the turtles got wiped out, except for 3 of them did, I would say. And one of them may have survived, and he's old now. Snowman, that'd be funny. Yeah, bring back Matt Martin's Snowman. There's so much to do. I mean, there's really so much to do with it. It's cool. I like it. I love the story of Cyberfrog. I love what we're actually building. I gave away an issue to my Uncle Ray. I gave away a copy of the proof to him yesterday. Take this home and read it. Let me know what you think. Andrew was like, you're special. 3 people have gotten copies of the book. My little brother Noah wants one too. I'm probably gonna send him a copy, an advanced copy. I'd rather just everybody wait until it's shiny. I think the shininess is really important. Yeah, we could get Faust, sure. All of those characters, absolutely. How did the Transformers survive the Vespers? I don't think the Transformers exist in Cyberfrog's world. They would be too noticeable. I don't think they exist. They're like in a different universe. Why does EVS want to kill every character? I don't want to kill them. But 1998 is an interesting year because it's also the year of the first like downturn in comics, the first like real downturn. I was there, and I remember people thinking that the comic book industry was going to die in 1998. And it was nothing like, it was nowhere near as bad as it is right now. In 1998, people were so used to the comic book industry being something that made money, something that made a lot of money, that the first downturn scared everyone. And everyone assumed that things were really bad and we were going to die. As opposed to now, when people are used to making zero money in comics, and now they're just hanging on. Like, no, everyone's in denial about what's coming. Everybody is in absolute denial about it. J-Pot says, Ethan is channeling Disney. Get characters, then kill them. No, I'm channeling Frank Miller. If anything, alternate future, or in this case, alternate past, which shows the end. The end of these characters. But it's just alternate. It's just one way. In other words, if the Turtles lived in Cyberfrog's universe, this is how they would have ended up. That's the thing. Of course, if I got a hold of the Turtles for real and it was my job to continue the Turtles, that would not be the case. This is just the Turtles in Cyberfrog's universe. So I'm excited about all this. I'm very excited about Cyberfrog Blood Honey. God, I'm really hoping that I'm going to see some copies this week of this. This is beautiful. Everyone who I show this to is just like, yes. Worth waiting for? I hope so. I hope you guys dig it. I think it's good. I've had to live with it so long, though. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to wait for you guys and see what you think. Hey, Umbrella Guys here. How you doing, Tug? Trump killed comics. You know what? If I have to admit, just politically speaking, if we're talking about 2008 EVS and the comic industry were in this dire of shape under Obama, I would have blamed Obama. I would have done the same thing, just to be a troll, just to be a nuisance. Yeah. Man in Lunacy says, I'm looking forward to all 17 pages. Yeah, everything changes. Like people think I changed my mind too much. I probably do. I don't know. I think about things and I kind of go, I don't know about that anymore. Like what I was going to do was I was going to break this book down, this and the Ash Can, break them down and release them as 4 mini comics through the direct market. Am I still going to do that? I don't know. I don't. It's not something that I think about anymore. It's not something that I really think about as much as I used to. I used to think, oh yeah, getting this through the direct market. What is Cyberfrog going to sell through the direct market? 1,000 copies? It's like I can't imagine. Like here's what would happen if I tried to put Cyberfrog through the direct market. There would be a whole series of retailers who would just not purchase it, not support it, just on principle. And then so I'd have that big disadvantage. And then even then, no matter what I sold, people would call it like proof that I failed. That's all. This is proof. Ethan put out Cyberfrog Blood Honey through the direct market. It only sold 2,000 copies. What a loser. What a loser. And I'd be like, knowing me, I'd just be like, yeah, you're right. I am a loser. Umbrella Guy goes, I like going directly to our consumers. I do too. I like that whole model. But then again, the other thing is people go, well, why leave money on the table? Like, what if I sold 2,000 copies of Cyberfrog to the direct market? That's still pretty good money. I should just take that insult on the chin and just add that to the coffers. Let's see. Tom Cruise should be a vigilante in Cyberfrog, says Michael Von Doom. Really? Here's one thing that I realized about that. Like, first of all, The Twin Towers are still standing. That's going to be creepy. Okay, 9/11 never happened. Well, 9/11 happened, but it just came and went. John F. Kennedy Jr. still alive. You know, a lot of the stuff that happened in 1999, 2000, the 2001, those events, they didn't happen. George W. Bush was never president. Obama was never president. Donald Trump was never president. Bill Clinton is still president of the United States. Which I love. I love it. Bill Clinton is a character in Cyberfrog Blood Honey, and it's not political. People go, well, what is it political? You've got Bill Clinton in there. I'm not making a statement about Bill Clinton one way or the other. I'm not saying I like his politics or I don't like his politics. This is just historical. Bill Clinton was president of the United States when the world ended. So all through this series, Bill Clinton is still president of the United States. They didn't hold another election. How would they hold an election? He's still president of the United States. No, there's no Epstein's Lolita Island that I know of. I don't know. When did he go there? I'd have to do research on that. Look, Bill Clinton is still Bill Clinton. I mean, he's still the guy. He's still, he's still who he is. So, I don't know. What would Bill Clinton, what would President Clinton be like if he spent the last 20 years under heavy guard, seclusion, Secret Service, in an underground bunker? What do you think Bill Clinton would be like? That's coming up in a future Cyberfrog show. Did Trump survive the invasion? Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to get into that because it doesn't matter. Like, from this timeline, it doesn't matter. It would be a funny joke if Trump survived, but it would be like a joke that would get stale because Cyberfrog's going to go on past the Clinton presidency or the Trump presidency. So making a note that Trump survived or did not survive is irrelevant. Trump was just a, celebrity business tycoon, in 1998. That's all he is. I love it. Absolutely love it. Monica would be Prego. No, look back. Think back about 1998. I'm going to be true to that. I really am. I'm going to be as historically accurate as I can be. And I'm going to just project what I think would happen. 20 years into the future under these circumstances. It's going to be fun. Let's see. Read some super chats. Amazon Smile logo is really an erect phallus, says Cars in Depth. Yeah, I've heard that theory. I don't know if that's true, but it looks right. Honey Thunder says, Daddy's here, posers. Now go get my belt. Cracklin says, do your siblings read your stuff? Noah definitely does. Noah's a big fan. He's really kind. And he's interested in what I'm doing because he really loves comics. Everyone else, I'm not sure. Sometimes they do from time to time, but I don't think regularly. I have 8 brothers and sisters, so their level of interest changes from individual to individual. I think my next brother, Josiah, down, probably would be interested in my comics. Team Jesus says, did you hear Doug Ernst attacked by SJWs on Twitter? I didn't hear that. What was he attacked for? I'm going to have to go look at that. Hold on a second. Let's have a look at Doug Ernst and we'll see what the problem is here. I like Doug Ernst. Doug Ernest. Did I misspell it? No, I got it right. People. Where's his Twitter account? Oh, there he is. Okay, God, I thought he closed down for a second. Oh, Captain Marvel fandom freak out. He did something about Captain Marvel and they attacked him. It's day 2 and Brie Larson fans are still in a bizarre frenzy about a single tweet I made from Best Buy. Oh yeah, he took a picture of the Captain Marvel rack of DVDs and noted that it was still full and they went crazy. 2 more pics for my trip to Best Buy. I'm looking at it now. This is a big non-story. Like what, But oh no, it isn't. Oh, it isn't. It isn't. It isn't. Hold on, let me share this real quick, and we'll take a look at this together. Because I did see him do this, and I saw a mild freak out, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But look at this. Doug doesn't really get this kind of reaction on Twitter, but look at this one. 798 likes and 205 comments. 2 more pics from my trip to Best Buy. And I guess the point is Alita is sold out and Captain Marvel is jacked with copies. I mean, just tons and tons of copies. So that is, that's the reason why they're attacking him. Because, in case you don't know, while Captain Marvel was out in theaters, there was this kind of competition between Alita, which I think Fandom Menace people and conservatives much preferred, like non-SJWs really liked Alita. I haven't seen it yet. Versus Captain Marvel. And Captain Marvel, of course, made $1 billion, had the backing of SJWs and Disney, of course, the backing of all the Avengers movies that were around it. And the question was, when people really examine, both movies on a even playing field, what would come out more successful? What would be more important? And Doug is trying to suggest that Alita sells out. This is a natural thing. People like this, and people don't really like or didn't really like Captain Marvel. That was just all kind of fluff. People did go to see it, but I think they learned a lesson from it. I think people came away from Captain Marvel going, I didn't really need to watch that. It had nothing to do with the Avengers movies. It didn't clue me in one bit about Avengers. Why did I go see that? But that scheme and scam made $1 billion for Disney. And Brie Larson, I'm sure, and her fans have gotten swollen heads over it. All right, so let me just look and see what people are saying. You realize this means that Alita hasn't been restocked, right? It means Captain Marvel's been selling enough to be restocked and Alita hasn't. Do you get that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. They care about this. This is the thing. I mean, you go, well, why? Why do you attack Captain Marvel? Because they care about it so much. Like, this is absolutely clear that this is important to them. Captain Marvel was a landmark to them because it was an SJW movie. This person is pointing out that Captain Marvel made $1.1 billion. Alita only made $404 million. Rainbow Unicorn. And of course, congrats. All it took was a YouTube algorithm change, Rotten Tomatoes changing its website, sandwiching it between Infinity War and Endgame. This is the big one right here. The reason why it worked was because it was sandwiched between 2 movies that people desperately wanted to see. This is why it worked. I mean, the whole thing was a very carefully coordinated, very ingeniously coordinated scam. Ultimately, it was a scam. Wall-to-wall fawning shill media coverage, most definitely. Disney's upping theater count to over 4,300 and 0 competition for a week. Good for you, Doug. Good for you. Responding to this person whose name is Brie is my hero. How could Brie Larson is your hero? It's one of the worst people on the planet. She is horrible. There is no stated theory. I posted 2 images with 0 commentary regarding national sales. You projected a theory onto the tweet and reacted to a figment of your own imagination. This is a little bit of gaslighting by Doug Ernst. I love it. Coincidentally, your imaginary theory allows you to puff out your chest Twitter style. And again, like, they're going in on him. Doug really got under their skin with this. Doug got under their skin just by posting this bit of truth, And the ends, I mean, again, the ends justify the means. This is what they do. They go, well, it made $1 billion. It did make more than $1 billion. It absolutely did. But we know how it did. It made $1 billion off of the backs of the male characters that people actually wanted to see. You can fool people. I mean, you can put this great bookended 2-part Avengers movie, and you can slide Captain Marvel into the middle of that. And you can kind of say you can kind of suggest that you need to see this movie in order to follow the story. And a certain percentage, certainly not all of them, not everyone was fooled. And certainly people didn't go back to see this more than once based on these numbers. Because after all, what did Avengers Endgame make? It is the number 1. What did Avengers Endgame end up making? Let me say here. Somebody knows that, but I'm going to double check. Avengers Endgame box office. Okay, so this is pretty substantial here. This is something that you need to see to understand. This is what a successful movie looks like. Okay, 2.795 billion, almost 2.8 billion dollars. Why? Why did it make this much money? Because people wanted to see it, of course, but people went back to see it over and over again because they really, really, really liked it. You don't earn this much money without repeat viewings. So you're essentially taking a fraction of this audience. Less than half of this audience got tricked into going to see Captain Marvel. Less than half. And evidently, let's just say this is currently the Marvel audience, the MCU audience. Evidently, they didn't go back. They didn't go back to see it more than once. Once was enough. And once was enough for me too, honestly. It was a terrible, terrible movie. So Doug Ernst is fighting these people. I'm a fan of Doug's. You know, he's a writer for the Washington Times. He is military. I think he's a good guy. We disagree about some stuff, but we're able to get along. He's got friends that I consider to be my worst enemies. Still, I like Doug. I told him, I'm like, I like you. I don't care about your friends. You're a good guy. So I want to support Doug. Go over there and give him a thumbs up, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how you fight back. Fight alongside him about this. Give these people facts. You know, SJWs do nothing but lie and gaslight. This is a lie. I mean, it's the truth, but it's a lie. There are reasons for this. This took a lot of arranging. This took a lot of dishonesty. This took a lot of cheating to get to this number. This number here, 100% honest. You know, 100% honest. All right, give me a minute. I'm going to go get a bottle of water, and we're going to continue with this stuff. I've still got a lot of things I want to say. I didn't mean to go on and on like this, but I got stuff to say. And maybe I'll actually invite people in. Andrea was like, are you live streaming tonight? I was like, I don't feel like it. I don't really feel like it. I feel like just drawing or just lying down. She said, you got to live stream. You can't just not live stream. And I said, okay, I'm going to make myself live stream. And now I did, and I like it. I'm having a good time. Be right back. I'm going to get a bottle of water over here. It's coming. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. Chair stream. Oh, people are happy to see the chair when I was away. This chair knows how you feel. This chair knows. You guys love the chair. All right, I'm going to invite some people in here and we'll see what happens. I do love it. I do. I enjoy YouTube. I consider it to be a job. Somebody said, what did somebody say today? Hold on a second. Let me do this and I'll tell you in a minute. All right, let's invite Cecil in. Cecil's going through some stuff right now. It'd be good to have him in here to talk about that. I want to talk about War Campaign. A little bit. Let's make sure John Malin gets this. All right. Cecil's running out of time. That is true. Cecil is running out of time. I had a good talk with I talked to Cecil on the phone. I said, what is going on and do you need my help? Now, people, I said, do you need my help? Is there anything I can do for you? And Cecil laughed and he explained to me why he didn't need my help. And I just went, okay. So you got to trust me when I say I did reach out to Cecil. I did say, do you need my help? And he said no and told me why. Can I tell you why? No. But I do love Cecil. If he did need my help, I'd help him. I could go on this campaign of just like eating clean for like a month. Do nothing. I think I'm going to get rid of Boomer Juice. I've stopped Boomer Juice. I ran out of it. I drank my last Boomer Juice yesterday. My last Monster, sugar-free, calorie-free Monster. I'm worried about my own health. Like I don't feel great. You know, I have to say I don't feel great. I feel great when I eat a pie, but I don't feel so great with you know, just constantly being pumped full of caffeine. You know, it's like it's not good for me. So I'm thinking about just quitting that. I'm quitting Monster, quitting caffeine drinks, quitting that. You know, and maybe doing black coffee, but just quitting. Yeah, I don't think it's good for me. I think that it'll take a while. It'll take a little while for me to kind of like adjust to the lack of caffeine. But I've done it before, and eventually I'll give up sugar when the pie is gone upstairs. I don't want to say, look, there's a pie upstairs. I do not want to commit to being sugar-free when there's that pie. After that pie is gone, then we'll talk about it. You know, Matt Svalar says you should. I see Carlo Rowe in the waiting room. Let's bring Carl in here. I'm meeting Carl. What? Hold on a second, Carl. 1 second. So cardio and a 100 push-ups a day. Whew, you're asking a lot. But I'm worried about it. Here's the thing. I have like my elbow hurts right here. I have something going on, tennis elbow. Look at that. Look at that elbow. What is this? And I'm not wearing my shoulder pads today. And then I've also got what I think is going to be carpal tunnel syndrome right here. I told Andrew, I was like, I got pain in my wrist, and I was like rubbing it, you know, and she's like, that's how carpal tunnel starts. I was like, no carpal tunnel for me. No. How do I fix that? She's like, surgery. I'm like, no. Yeah, I can't. Carpal tunnel, I can't deal with that. You know, that's going to suck. Too much drawing. Yeah, some people are talking about using compression gloves. All right, let's get Carl Rowe in here and see what he thinks of all this. Hey, Carl, how you doing?
Hey, man. I actually have trouble with my elbow and wrists and stuff, and I'm worried because you have it, but you have your whole career. I'm 22, and my wrist is like. Well, I have the elbow pads and the gloves and yeah, I have them right here.
I'm gonna put these on. I shouldn't not wear them. You know, there shouldn't be a time when I don't wear them. It's just
Oh, those wraps.
No, they're spider pads. They're called I like that they're called spider pads. I don't know. I went to I got bursitis in this arm, and it was a weird thing. Like I didn't understand what it was, but my elbow swelled up really big, swole up. And I went to the doctor. The doctor injected me with a needle. Apparently, he's like, there are little things in your arm and they burst. I was like, what the hell? I didn't understand. Yeah, I didn't really get it, but that was bursitis. And so he gave me a shot because it was an infection, and that the swelling went down. And he said, from now on, he's like, you know, you're putting trauma on your elbows when you draw. And, you know, wear these spider pads. He gave me a set and he told me, you know, hey, get this special brand. You can get them on Amazon. Now, they look silly. They look like I'm skateboarding all the time. Like people will go, Ethan's out there like skateboarding. I'm not skateboarding. This is just me kind of protecting my elbows because I don't want to get bursitis ever again, Carl. And I'm going to. I know.
I get that. Yeah. I get strains all of my forearm too. Do you get that from drawing? I think it's from drawing.
Forearm? Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes it's like I've got something. You know what I have? I have it right in here. I got a pain, right? Like radiating up here. I could be dying, Carl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's pretty sucky. Vinny Art's also here. Vinny T. Vinny, how you doing?
Hey guys, pretty good. Pretty good. Yourselves?
All right. Not great, Vinny. We're talking about how we're falling apart, and Carl is in his 20s. Carl, how old are you?
22.
You're only 22 and you're already dying?
What the hell
Like
happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Carl's literally half my age. Vinny, how old are you?
I'm 39. Well, I'm gonna be.
Are you dying?
I got some knee problems and some back problems. That's about it.
Yeah. I'm not going to complain. You guys are never going to hear me complain. I just refuse to. No, I wouldn't qualify that as complaining. Complaining would be me actually whining about things, you know. Actually literally whining. I'm just stating facts.
You're taking action. You're getting the spider pads. You're sorting it all out.
And drinking water. You're supposed to drink a gallon of water every single day.
That's
and
true.
None of you guys do. You know, I follow your example. None of you guys do.
I do.
You do?
I do. I used to play soccer. Yeah, you got to keep hydrated.
Yeah. I'm drinking too much caffeine. I got to end that and just get on with the I don't know, the way things have to be here. Get healthy.
Hey,
so
for your elbow, real quick, for your elbow, you got to do exercises for your wrists. That should alleviate some of the pain in your elbows.
What kind
you
of
do stretches?
Stretches on my wrist? How do you do that? See, I can't see you, so I don't know how you.
Yeah, sorry, my camera's garbage, and I think it'll just freeze anyway.
Can you describe?
You can look it up on
exercises.
Yeah, if you stretch your arms out in front of you and like your fingertips are pointing to the ceiling, and you just kind of like you bend them back, and then keep your arms out like that, and do like that stuff should it should help a little bit because it could be like tendon damage as well because it starts from the hands and goes.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad time. I'll do it anyway. I think doing push-ups really does help. The thing is, like, I think you need to build muscle up around whatever it is that's getting, torn up. You know, so I'm telling you, I'm gonna get into kick-ass shape. You guys are gonna be impressed.
Well, if you do for push-ups, if you do elevated push-ups and then you slowly work down to flat, that helps with building up everything around it. So you're not like
doing elevated push-ups.
Yeah, like you can just do it on the side of not on a tabletop or whatever. But I find that bats are usually the perfect height, and it takes that extra strain off it. And then when you build up the strength, you can go flat on the ground. You know.
Yeah. What if
you
I
don't
put
get
my
that
feet
wobble
up
on your wrist?
Oh yeah. What if I put my feet up on steps or something like that?
No. You put your arms up. You do it from your arms. You're not putting your feet up. Like
my arms
head
are up.
Yeah. Like if you went, I do it on the bat because the bathtub is perfect height. So you put your hands on the edge of the bathtub and you just do push-ups off of it.
Oh, that's easy. I can do that.
Yeah. But it takes that pressure off of your wrists so that when you build up that strength, then you can get down flat on the ground and do it.
What do you think of that, Vinny?
That's pretty good too. Is do like the 100 push-up challenge. Do it for like a month. Every day, do 100 push-ups.
100 push-ups every day?
Yeah.
You mean 100 push-ups in a month, right? I mean, over the course of a month?
Break it up.
I'll try
it. Time you get up. Let's say you gotta go take a leak. Drop down and do 20 push-ups. You can do it.
All right. That sounds good. All right, so I want to let people know Carlo Rowe is here for the first time on the show. I like Carl. He's a cool guy. He is your Comicsgate, Carl, essentially.
Yep.
You believe in Comicsgate? All right, so that's good to know. We have to ask questions like that, Vinny.
Of course.
Dude, I've stories about kind of what went down over here when people start coming after me over here.
What happened?
But, I was basically just sort of confronted, and like I was asked out, "Are you Comicsgate?" I was sort of, I guess I played it off to them. It was a guy who was big in the con scene or whatever, and isn't actually anymore. But basically said that, and I was like, well, I'm whatever, man. Like, I'm whatever you want. Like, I don't care who you think I am. I'm what I am. If that makes me Comicsgate, then so be it. Like, and then I was banned from a convention, and I remember it was about this time last year, I think. And at that time, some people reached out to Edwin and Tug for me, and they did a whole live stream and stuff and went through it all. I gave them the DMs of the altercation and stuff, and yeah, I've sort of been on the outs, I guess, since then.
Wow, that's horrendous, dude. But that's kind of like
these guys are sort of, it's annoying because it's like these guys kind of had their chance, you know. It's like they're like twice my age, and they haven't gotten out of this little circuit, and I'm like really trying to do something here with my book and everything I do, and these guys are kind of war stepping on me.
Yeah, the gatekeeping's horrible.
Yeah,
and that's why they won't let new blood in.
Is this Scott McCullough? Hold on, real quick. Scott McCullough, is that you?
Ethan, yeah, I'm here.
Door Kickers. All right, cool. We're listening to Carl talk about his experience with Comicsgate. I want to introduce people to his comic, which is called Deathsworn. And I gotta say, man, I'm wearing the right T-shirt right now for this. This book looks metal, metal as fuck. Look at this, Deathsworn book 1, man. I saw this book and you are Irish.
Yeah.
Carl, are you like I don't hear an accent.
Yeah, I'm one of those weirdos because I'm like, you know, I'm staying up till 4 a.m. listening to you guys, you know. So I guess it's sort of it's rubbed off a bit, but I don't know. You get a couple of pints in me, it'll come out pretty bad.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Ethan, you should hear what he gets like when people think he's from the UK.
Oh, the chat's probably full of that already.
It was awesome the other night.
It's that potato emojis and stuff. Yeah.
Why? What happened? What happened with that?
Well, no, I was just going to say, because, you know, there's Northern Ireland and Ireland, and Northern Ireland's part of the UK, and people just, you know, Americans just think, you know, England, you know, they think it's all the same. You know, we're stupid that way.
Well, there's like, okay, so there's the UK, there's Great Britain. There are all these different terms that you know, people who actually live there understand, but Americans think it's all the same. You know, the British Isles, you know, all of these things kind of mean the same thing to us, but we have to have it explained, like, you know, what is what, you know. So the UK, the United Kingdom, is Northern Ireland, but not all of Ireland?
No, it's just Northern Ireland. And then there's the Republic of Ireland, which is just Ireland. But yeah, people just found that it triggers me. And now the chat's going to be full of it, I'm sure.
Is the UK Wales?
Yeah, Wales, yes. Scotland, Britain, isn't it?
England is a part, yeah.
And Northern Ireland, and then Ireland is Ireland.
Why do people hate the Welsh so much?
Yeah, people do. People don't like the Welsh. I don't know. I like the Welsh. The Welsh and the Scottish and stuff, they're more, you know, they're more Irish than they are English.
They're salt of the earth. I mean, you know, they're the regular people.
Is it because when was there a point when Rome invaded England and like the Welsh retreated and didn't fight or something like that? Isn't it? I heard something like that before. But
I think there's something about there was some territory and they weren't able to get in. It was so sort of, but I don't know. That might just be all legend, like.
Okay. I just like them because they decided they don't need some of the letters in the alphabet. I really like that. I admire that. They've only got like 16 letters in their alphabet.
Yeah, but they go mad with the L's and stuff. They're always adding like 5 L's and 5 Y's to everything. You're like, how am I supposed to say this?
All right. So Deathsworn, book 1. Solar vampires are taking over. What does it mean, solar vampires? That's weird because vampires don't do well with the sun usually.
Yeah, so these guys, they're not like your Hollywood horror vampires. These guys are space vampires. Instead of sucking blood and being scared of the sun, they actually suck suns. They survive on solar energy. So they've amassed these great like space stations that sort of take over suns. They can control it, and they've gained control over the galaxy by doing that.
So
it's like a life out of suns.
So they're all over the universe, and they find different solar systems and they kind of drain them.
Yeah, and then they enslave all the planets in that planetary system. They barter sunlight. So they might give you a couple of hours a day of sunlight if you give them a number of slaves to man their space stations. And they keep taking over the galaxy and just, wrecking and destroying and enslaving all these planetary systems.
I'm known as the human sunbeam, Carl. Should I be worried about these? This is horror for me. This is true horror. Like I am I'm threatened by these weirdos.
Or maybe you're so powerful that they can never harness you, that you'll shine through them. Maybe you're the key of destroying them. Maybe in book 2, that's when we'll run into EVS and they'll take on the Dark Stars together.
This sounds great. This project sounds awesome. I don't know what it is, but it really appeals to me.
EVS, the sun god, destroyer of the Dark Stars.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I was going to say. Like, this does sound like a Green Lantern kind of concept as well. It sounds like something that, it does. It sounds like something Jeff Johns would have put into Green Lantern. Are you a fan of DC Comics stuff or not really?
Yeah, man. I'm a fan of most of that stuff. I was always Marvel growing up. Like I was way into Marvel, and now kind of into the weirder stuff of Marvel, Skull the Slayer and Deathlock and some of that stuff.
You have to be careful though, Carl, because the Dark Stars are a Green Lantern concept. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know, and I was kind of worried about that. When I first was putting this book out in the floppy, I asked some friends, but there's so much stuff that's called Dark Star that I think it falls into that thing where it's just so common. It's a kind of common word.
Yeah,
like there's multiple stuff. There's multiple movies and titles for other things that use it as well.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, Kyle Ritter's having a similar problem with Star Blades. It's like anything Star blank. Probably somebody did it already. It's probably the name of a truck, or it's a movie from 1973, or something like that. Look how good this looks, pal. This looks great.
That was gorgeous. Beautiful artwork. Man, my pleasure.
Yes. So you're the artist?
Yeah, I mean, I write, I draw, I color it, I letter it.
You're a one-man show.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's why I'm up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, really. Von Klaus, Monster MD. He's someone we like a lot. He just said, I stepped into Carl's neon blood-coated 80s synth-booming, axe-thrashing, space epic, and I never want to come back. Carl O'Roe is the future of fantasy sci-fi. That's high praise coming from Von Klaus.
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as I saw this, it took me back to seeing heavy metal as a 10-year-old when I was a kid on like the movie channel.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It again, I mean, this looks like something that 2000 AD would publish as well. Oh, look how great this is.
That's unbelievable.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the Imperial Sunstalker. That's kind of the Emperor's main ship where he hangs out. That's where his throne room is, and
it's gorgeous, man. So, all right, so this campaign's been going on for how long now? I mean, it's not too long. It's like what, 7?
We launched on Monday.
Yeah, and it's already over its goal, of course. I mean, you were hoping to get why $29.73? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, here's and this happens with the prices and people. This has been a joke as well. I have the price in euros, so I'm always pricing the dollar, but in euros. And what happens is Indiegogo decides to change it every single day, like up or down $1 or whatever. So. When I launched it, it was $3,000, and then it's
So it just changes with the
the exchange rate.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Well, the link to this is in the description. We're going to come back and talk about this a little bit more. Our friend Vinny T is also here. Vinny, it's great to see you. I'm glad to see your book is doing pretty well here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I mean, you met your goal, obviously. Of course you did. Vinny, here's the thing about, by the way, let me just show you the artwork real quick here. Vinny has done pinup books before, like portfolios. for Indiegogo. And have you done one for Kickstarter, or is it always Indiegogo?
Just Indiegogo. My first campaign was a 3-issue comic book, though, Through the Woods.
Yeah. That's right. All right, so we've got this new book, City of Venus. Take it away, Vinny. What is this? What's this one about?
This one's an action, post-apocalyptic action sci-fi story. It's set in the future where all technology is dead except for the city floating in the sky and all the people who inhabit it. So it's the ultra elite, it's the scientists, the most brilliant minds and engineers, and they're keeping themselves above everyone else. They've been doing it for centuries. They have a unique power source that's keeping that city floating. So everything below, you have like these mutated people, which they're essentially failed experiments. So the people of Floating City, they're taking like these scavengers if they find them, who they hide underground, but they come up every now and then for some kind of a resource or kind of like these little gift packages around. So we don't know yet if it's just to lure them out or if someone else is doing this, but essentially, if those people in the Floating City find them, they want to capture them because these experimentations is basically the evil people want to prolong their lives, and they keep failing. They're missing a piece of the pie to do this, so they toss them back down. So that's why you see like a lot of like these kind of zombies, or they look like zombies, but they're not. They're just failed experiments. So
this is new.
Yeah,
this piece, huh? I haven't seen this one before. Did you just draw this?
Yeah, that when I hit 5K, I'm putting this type of an image. It's going to be for all backers. So an extra kid, if you want to frame it. But yeah, that's that.
But when did you draw this? Because I didn't see it before. This looks new, Vinny.
Yeah.
Okay, Vinny. These are all hard questions, Vinny. I understand.
Yeah.
This is awesome right here. Everyone loves. Are you okay, Vinny? Are you okay tonight?
Yeah. Am I cutting out?
You're cutting out, and I don't know if you can't hear me or anything. It's like I'm asking you questions, and you're like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, this is all. Let me do this. This is fantastic. Vinny draws women. Vinny draws beautiful, beautiful women, and he doesn't care. Like Vinny doesn't care what the weirdo SJWs are gonna say about it. He's just gonna draw beautiful, scantily clad women having an adventure here. And the thing about Vinny is he knows what he's doing. He has somebody who will tell you he knows what he's doing. That person is Todd McFarlane. Vinny used to be the lead designer for McFarlane Toys. And now he's indie doing his indie comic here. And I have to say, I especially like the backgrounds. Thanks. Like your characters are beautiful, but these are great backdrops here.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Now you're coming in, Vinny.
Just like Carl, I do everything. I did the story, the artwork, even the
so this is beautiful. This is my favorite panel right here. Let me zoom in on this. Now, oops, I think I went too far. This is marvelous. Now, somebody in the chat reminded me of all the people that you would want to thank for your success, for your learning curve. Where does Joe Quesada fall on that list of people that you would want to thank?
Yeah, bottom. Hold on.
Yeah.
Shit, that's under my shirt.
Oh my God, Vinny.
That guy, he screwed me over 3 times, that guy. And one of the worst ones, aside from tracing my artwork, one of the worst ones, me out of a Spider-Man job to sign the contract.
He did?
Yep.
What happened?
That one destroyed me. Well, I was working with editors, and he wanted me. I'm going to put you on. If you don't send me. He gave me the date. He goes, we're gonna go over contracts. I'm like, beautiful. 2 weeks before, he called me up again and he apologized. He goes, I'm not joking. I was putting one.
Wait, he's doing what? You clicked out.
He
said, okay,
said
hold on.
he was putting one.
Vinny,
This is the good part of the story.
I know I'm having difficulty here. I need people to hear this. All right, so you said Joe Quesada called and said, "I'm not going to bullshit you," or somebody called you and said, "I'm not going to bullshit."
No.
All right, try again.
Ralph, one of the real.
Carl, this isn't working.
I think this is Joe Q's doing again. I think he's at it again.
You heard his name and the algorithm kicked in.
I'm gonna kick Vinny, I think, tonight. Hold on, I don't normally do this, but Vinny, you got to get your mic set up better, your internet, because you're like, people want to know. People are chomping at the bit. Okay.
Disconnect and then come back in.
John Malin, how you doing?
Hello, good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. It's great to have you. John Malin is showing his face lately, which I appreciate. It's a handsome face.
It's the StreamYard. I mean, without an icon, it looks terrible.
It doesn't look good. I mean, you really do. Here's the thing. I really like talking from behind my Laughing Man avatar, because it does kind of convey a little bit of mystery and power to what you're doing. I mean, you can say things, and when you're just an avatar, it's kind of cool. But then people look at your face and go, well, and at least in my case, like, look at him, he's ridiculous. That takes away your mystique, John. But you don't have that problem. You're a handsome man.
Not too shabby.
You know what, Ethan, though? People want that personal connection. And when you turn the Laughing Man off and you put the camera on, people get that. And,
that might be true.
It's a different thing. It's a different thing.
Be true, Scott. I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but it's a nice thought. People go.
Well, I think with an avatar, you can kind of project a little bit onto what the person is like. That make them what you want them to be.
People imagine, people have their, people use their imagination about what you look like, and people like that. That's what radio is. All right, so let's also look at something else here. This is, again, now that we've got Scott here, Scott McCullough. Are you Scottish?
No. Well, I mean, apparently my dad got the ancestry thing, and it says he is, but who knows? I'm American mud. I'm American mud. Just like everybody else.
The Scots, they came over here. When you hear about like the Wild West, people who were like those outlaws settling the West and everything like that, cowboys, those are all Scottish people who came over to the United States. Those are Scottish immigrants.
Because they didn't want anybody telling them what to do. I mean, they came from England, and people have been telling them what to do over there, and they were done with that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's in your blood. Like, you are, I don't know if Wyatt Earp was Scottish, but let's pretend he was. That's you. And now you're in El Paso, Texas.
Well, what am I going to do? It's a free fire zone over here in El Paso.
Why can't we go back to the old West?
I'm working on it. It's part of my plan.
I'll be honest with you. In the old West, there was no nice border wall here in El Paso. I think I like having that border wall.
Oh, we're hoping that border wall happens, but I'm not too hopeful. No,
new plan. Dig that trench. 40 feet deep, 40 feet deep, 40 feet wide. Bamboo shoots poking up, 6 feet tall.
But won't people just pole vault?
Yeah,
no. We already went through this. You can't pole vault that.
Sharpened steel works better.
You're gonna need a 40-foot rod.
What if you turn it into a moat? We get some crocodiles and water.
No, we already worked on that too. Look, you gotta keep them fed. There's not going to be enough illegals going in there to feed all these crops.
If I could speak off of non-attributionally, we're all on background here, right? This is not an open forum. This is just me, you, and friends, right? So a little project I'm working on in my day job has something to do with the southwest border. And trust me, the moat that we already have is not a deterrent. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
we don't want moats. We want trenches with bamboo shoots.
When you see the trench, when you see the reality on the border, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I wanted a wall. I didn't think there was anything wrong with a wall. And people started calling the wall racist. I thought that was weird. I didn't know walls were racist. But I like the idea of a big, beautiful wall. And I wanted it to have a big golden T on it for Trump.
When you displace all that soil, you put it up on the American side. So now you actually get a wall over there too. It's a big wall of dirt.
That's true.
Yeah, you put gun turrets up there.
Yeah, somebody said this is the most racist thing that Ethan said yet. Shit.
Hey, Ethan, if it makes you feel any better, every Border Patrol agent that I know, and I've met quite a few, they're all Hispanic. So they must be the largest Hispanic white supremacist gang in the world.
Wow, can you imagine that? Hispanic white supremacists.
I know.
Maybe they're the white Hispanics, like the what's his name?
The non-Caucasian Hispanic or the Caucasian Hispanic.
Yeah. The guy who killed Trayvon. That guy was a white
Zimmerman.
He was Cuban, wasn't he?
Yeah, they call that white Hispanic in the media because they wanted it to be a white guy. Do you remember that?
Well, if a white guy shot that guy, then he'd be a person of color.
Yeah. That was a weird time, man. The whole Trayvon thing was weird. I went back and forth about that.
Can you imagine if it happened now?
Well, I mean, it didn't happen that long ago, and I think the result of that kind of led to where we are now. And people can take people can hobgoblinize those events and turn them into whatever political thing that they need to on either side.
Well, there's about 5 or 6 stories I think that you can link in the history to where we are right now, and I think that's one of them. I mean, that really kind of shaped especially the progressive left.
Yeah.
This isn't a politics stream, so.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get too much into politics when we can be talking about door kickers, Panzer Demon. Panzer Demon. Panzer. So this is a tank. Do you have a Panzer, like a German tank?
Well, I mean, I can tell you what that's all about, but I'd be afraid I would, somebody'd yell at me for a spoiler. I don't really care about spoilers, but.
Don't worry about spoilers. Tell something cool.
Tell your book.
So, all right. So there is a 2-page splash around. So it's a 48-page book. There's a 2-page splash around page 30, where these guys essentially kick in the last door that they have to kick in on this mission, and they see a Tiger II tank sitting in the middle of an abandoned industrial site with cultists sacrificing people and all kinds of Cthulhu crap going on. And that tank starts as a tank, but it goes south from there.
Cool.
So I don't want to, but there is definitely a tank, a Panzer. It's a Tiger II Panzer tank in there.
And then a Demon, which is probably where it goes from there. So this all sounds pretty crazy, pretty cool, pretty fun, great looking art, John.
Yeah, it is really good stuff.
Hey, so Ted Lehman is I know he's in the chat, so I want to make sure he gets the shout out on this. He is amazing. He did a fan art piece, when I was just in the kind of pitching on I was on Clint's stream several times, and I think he saw me there, and so he sent in a piece of fan art, and the fan art blew me away, and so based on that, he did another piece, and then he did the piece for Eric Weathers that you've seen. That
Eric Weathers, that Eric Weathers piece is absolutely berserk. I mean,
Ted has gone from fan to superstar like that. So I just can't wait for him to get more work and to get a bigger profile within the movement.
I would say this to Ted. By the way, this was my idea, and everyone hates me for it. But what else is new? I said what somebody needs to do, somebody like Pixel Trader, is make a great website that actually gathers up the Ted Lehmans, the loose Ted Lehmans, and there aren't too many of him, but artists who are not currently working on a project but want to, and put them on a website that's kind of like a personals ad almost. It's almost like, hey, match up with a creator here, a creative person to work on a comic. Ted Lehman should be able to shop himself out to a really good writer who doesn't have a project right now and collaborate on something together. So there are all these guys, and I'm telling you, there are guys who used to do Cyberfrog fan art, and I can't even remember all their names anymore. But when the art was coming in, I was like, damn, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. Like, somebody needs to scoop you up and put you on a project. So I think there should be a website like that for writers who are seeking artists. Not even like that, but just like, here's a list of all of the, here's a bunch of pages of all of these artists who are not currently working on anything, who currently are amateurs, who are looking for some kind of creative partnership, almost like a dating site.
CG Tender.
Absolutely. Letterers, colorists, everyone, editors.
Well, unfortunately, there would only be one person in the letterers.
Eric Weathers.
That would be Eric Weathers. So.
Well, there's also my guy. I got Somni, who is doing great work. Somnivision is fantastic. He's doing all the Cyberfrog lettering.
Yeah, that stuff looks pretty sick.
But people think it's like, right now Indiecron is serving as kind of like, hey, these are all of the. I thought it was going to be Comicsgate projects, but it's just everything. But also, here are the people, here are the creators that are working on them. That's good, but it doesn't really help people who are actually looking to start a project. It lets people who are shopping know.
Well, back in the early days when I became, more, active within Comicsgate, I reached out to both Pixel Trader and John Luke about that, and that's definitely something that they were working on, back in the old days of Indiecron. So I don't know why, it couldn't just transition, drop the Indiecron name so it's a completely new thing and just go for it.
Yeah. No, it's just a thought. I mean, I like this guy, Ted Lehman, man. I'm going to scoop him up. What's he doing? Can he do a book? Can he do a whole book?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if Ted, you can tell he's a hell of a draftsman. And if he can, if he's not comfortable with his sequential stuff, then, maybe he just does pinups and covers for the time being while he, works on his sequential stuff. But I know he's, hell, he just did another fan piece for me. He just did it. He just sent it to me yesterday. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Well, by the way, you're selling a bunch of books. You're at 53.75 now. Guys, Backdoor Kickers, Panzer Demon. This book looks great. You got to admit, it's a cool concept. Scott McCullough is a cool guy who is probably, look, if it were 150 years ago, he would be on the Wild West. He would be, instead of starting up a comic book venture, he'd be organizing a small town, a small independent town, gold mining prospectors town, What do you think of that, Scott?
As long as I don't have to go without the flush toilets, man. I've lived in that kind of environment. That's no good.
Yeah, you would, though. You would have to do that. Yeah, but it's worth it for the gold,
If you don't mind, let's show off Narwhal's cover. I mean, I thought of several big CG names to kind of approach for covers because, it's always good to have a bigger name attached to your thing. But ultimately, Narwhal was the one who was A, different, and B, I knew he would just, knock it out of the park. And man, just look at that thing. I don't think there's anybody in CG that really captures that dynamic action the way he does.
Not even John? Not me?
Whoa, shots fired.
We all have our strengths, man. I mean, you know that. I guarantee that Narwhal couldn't draw that. What was it? The New York City background. I remember when you drew that, I was just like, "Oh my god!" I feel like I'm watching the guy draw Akira because it was just that's what it reminded me of.
Now you're just being nice. Yeah, you're just being too nice. John Malin is here. By the way, John, I want to congratulate you on your incredible rodeo.
Whoa.
Your incredible, not rodeo. What's the word I'm looking for?
Saving the planet?
No, it wasn't even
ending global warming.
No, that's nothing. What I'm talking about is the way that you have rallied your forces to make Graveyard Shift Volume 2 into the success that it's becoming here. $127,303. when your goal, I mean, at this point, you're trying to make 170.
Mhm.
That is, I didn't know if you were going to be able to do it, but of course you are. Of course you're going to be able to do it. You have completely rallied. This is, I think, one of my favorite comic books that that is on Indiegogo right now. I backed
thank
it
you.
twice, John.
Well, thanks, Ethan. Yeah.
No, I only meant to back it once, John. I backed it twice because I was like, oh God, I don't know if I did it yet.
I'll get my people on that refund.
No, I don't want a refund. I'm as you can see,
it's all right. I don't have people.
I've got 6 copies of the first Graveyard Shift. I really, really, really dig your work. I wanted another 6 copies, if possible, of Graveyard Shift 2.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I hope everybody gets 6 copies of Graveyard Shift Volume 2 as well. It'll move us to our $170,000 goal, which at point every backer is going to get an additional book. It's a secret book. That's all I'm saying, but everyone is going to get an additional book with along with Graveyard Shift. So,
well, what? Oh, so you already know what the book's going to be?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's all taken care of. So another book will be thrown in. So even the $25 backers are going to get another book.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, yeah, let me. Oh, I didn't put the link in yet, John. I'm sorry. I got to get this.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I was thinking earlier. I was hearing you guys talking about food, so I went and made a couple of roast beef sandwiches, Ethan. And I was hearing this really bad weight loss advice that people were giving you. I was disappointed in this. They don't understand that you are like David in a block of stone, and all you need, because all that muscle's there already, baby. All you need is somebody to chisel you out. You need to get down to Mexico, man. Get down to Mexico. Look, they're going to take that. They're going to take that weak stone away from you, and it's not your fault. It's your body's fault that it can't make muscle quick enough.
Well, I like what you're saying, John. It sounds good to me because it absolves me of responsibility, and I like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel responsible at all. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I appreciate the I appreciate the fact that it makes other people the problem and makes me the victim. Exactly. I like that. That makes sense to me, John. So thank you. I'd like to hear more about your ideas. So I need to go to Mexico.
There are real body artists down in Mexico. They're gonna take out all that unused muscle, and then they're gonna trim up your skin. They're gonna shape you just like Michelangelo's into the David that you already are. Look, all that muscle's there already. That's why your calves are so big.
My calves are big?
Yeah.
My calves are that big. I never noticed.
No. Ethan, I don't think this wouldn't fly in the old West, man.
What John's saying?
Yeah, man. It's
the New West, baby. New West.
Bro love.
Yeah.
Man, they suck that fat out of you. They put some like easy mix cement in your shoulders. You get that real big look.
Really?
What?
Yeah, pump some oil into your biceps so they get real. Yeah, that's what they do down there.
We don't want that. Look, we just want human meat. Human meat.
Unicorn Bakaki says this is the worst advice ever. I mean,
yeah, the concrete. Yeah, you don't want. That's going to weigh you down. It's not going to help you at all.
It'll make you look tough, though.
You got mountains to climb.
Professor Geek is here. Welcome, Professor Geek. They're telling me awful stuff that I shouldn't, probably shouldn't listen to. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good. Glad to finally make it. I saw the link and I thought, oh God, let me get there in time. So glad to make it.
You
absolutely great to be here.
Did it. Yeah. Let's see. $2 from Andrew Huerta says, "Don't listen to John. Sounds like a setup."
No.
John,
look, it's cheap. They're qualified. You're gonna do just fine, baby.
John, I don't know if I trust you. I remember you giving people a lot of bad advice.
What?
Professor Geek, John is the one. In case you don't know this, John is the one who told Mike S. Miller to draw over that Mike Waringo sketch.
I've heard he's the big instigator. Yeah.
No, everybody gets this wrong. Mike was going to do it anyways. Mike was going to draw this. All I said is, if you're going to do it, if you're going to ink this, if you're going to finish it, just finish it on the original art. That's all I did. He was going to do everything he was going to do, the signatures, all that already. I just gave him a little push of good advice. Look, I think he sold that piece too. Made money.
Because you'd already said, "Hey, maybe that's not a good idea." As your friend, I just want to, tell you that, and he didn't respond well to that, right?
I thought it was a great idea. I think he made money on that. I think he made money on that piece. And I didn't make anything. Nothing.
You know, as much as I'd love to blame John for this, I think Mike's personal anthem is "My Way" by, Frank Sinatra. So I don't know.
Mike isn't influenced by group speak.
Yeah.
He doesn't fall for peer pressure. I told him something he already planned on doing. People blame me.
I don't like that people blame you for things. I gotta admit, I mean, there's some stuff that people are blaming you for that, but I think that was fair. I think you really did tell him I think you really did tell him to do that, and he took your advice. I don't know. I don't believe. I know what you're saying. I'm saying that I think there was a lot of what really. Okay, John, you wouldn't hurt me.
Yeah.
When you did that.
Yeah.
And
yes, I did give him the push he needed. He was going to do it anyways, but I gave him the push he needed to do the right thing. And now he sold that piece. Now his kids are eating.
That is true. All right, fair enough. I mean, that's I guess that's one way to look at it. A lot of people are asking me for mummy news today. John, people are
how's
now
your mom?
People want me to talk about mummies lately. I don't know why. I think just one time I mentioned that Tutankhamun's face would look delicious if it were chocolate cake and not desiccated human flesh. That's all I said. And then people and I said it would be humiliating to don't. All right. Andrea and I talk about this a lot. Andrea said to me, look, don't, you're going to be responsible for if I die before you do, you're going to be responsible for carrying out my last wishes. And I said, yes. She said, don't bury me. I said, why not? She said, I don't want to be in the ground. And I thought, that's, you're going to be dead. You wouldn't know. But I thought about that and I went, no, there's some good reason for not doing that. There's some good reason for not being buried. Reasons why you might as well just get burned up and then, thrown into the ocean. One of those reasons is because eventually 3,000 years from now, some other culture is going to dig up your body that has been lying in the ground for 3,000 years. And if it's preserved, they are going to make fun of you. They are going to put you on display. They're going to make fun of your stupid bones. And, why do that? That could happen, or a flood could come and could actually excavate you accidentally. Now, we've seen this happen in, I think, Venezuela. I'm pulling that out of my ass. I don't know if that's true. But, these coffins are floating down the street. Let me look this up for sure. Do you want that? Is that what you want to happen to you?
But at one time, ground mummy dust, or if you could get a fragment of a mummy, I think it was the Victorian ages, that was considered a very powerful aphrodisiac. So if that belief ever came back around, you could be a part of somebody's special moment one day. Isn't that reason enough to be buried?
No, Oh, this is even worse, by the way. This happened in Louisiana. I haven't watched this yet. This is a 37-second clip. I'm going to show it to you guys. This happened to home.
Is this the coffins thing?
Yes.
Yeah. They pop up because essentially the ground gets super saturated with water, and they're airtight. So it's essentially a big bubble, and it pops up through the earth and floats down the stream.
Why?
Filled with fart gases.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why in New Orleans, most of the crypts are above ground.
Yeah, well, and the bloods are underground.
And I know this because no good reason. So,
all right, let's watch this video. Carl, are you still here? Are you shocked by what goes on in the United States of America?
No, I was gonna say I think a good burial ritual thing I think there's somewhere in India where they go back and they dig up their relatives every year and they walk them back to their town and they redress them and walk them back to their grave. I'd like to see that.
Shit.
I'd like to put everybody I know who survives me through that misery every year.
Sounds great.
Carl, did we both watch the same video recently or something? Because I just saw that and it blew my mind, and I couldn't stop thinking about it.
I thought that was an island in the Pacific where they like literally they keep the bodies like close at hand and bring them out every once in a while.
All right, hold on. Let's watch this real quick, and we'll get to that. He's got family in the area. You got to be kidding me!
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me! What?
This is why the wooden coffins are better, because they
they got coffins floating around.
Yeah. It's physics.
Had water in it all this morning. Had water in it. Every little rain we get flooded back here.
This is why you need to don't be interred. Don't do that. Get incinerated. What do you call it? What do you call it when you get
cremated?
Cremated. Yeah.
Get cremated. Why wouldn't you? This is gonna happen to you.
Hey, Ethan, check out Sky Burial.
Sky Burial?
Yeah. So they do this in Tibet. They've got rocky ground. They don't have soil.
Oh, yeah.
And they, they're Buddhists, so they got different kind of ways that they, appreciate the dead body. So they have essentially they take the dead bodies from the outlying village into this main place, and they lay them out. And then they literally put them in a location where all the buzzards come in and then consume the flesh in a public space.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now on YouTube. There's no way I'm clicking any of these links.
No, don't show it on your channel, but just check it out. It's crazy. I mean, the rituals around death in the world are just amazing.
Yeah, I also know a good way of appreciating dead bodies, but you probably also don't want to show this on YouTube. But look up necrophilia.
I know what that means, John. John, I don't. I know you don't care what happens to your channel on YouTube. But don't bring your evil here, son.
Oh, sorry.
What about the artist that'll actually take cadavers and preserve cadavers and use them as pieces of artwork? Wouldn't you want to be preserved in a museum for something like that?
Wait a second. You're talking about the body thing?
Yeah.
So those are all Chinese convicts that
Hey, but
an early demise.
When you were talking about the mummy stuff, that was mummies were also used for paint. So what about that? If you're an artist and you get mummified and you're like, grind me up, make some cool brown paint out of me, paint some stuff.
Why brown?
Then you get to become art and you're forever immortal. Zombie artwork.
I'd rather be a nice passionate red myself, I think.
I don't want to be like, I would want to know who was going to use my ground up flesh for paint before I allow it.
Oh, yeah. What if it was someone who really hates you, though? Wouldn't that be good revenge?
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I could make their artwork suck. I don't know what I would do. I would sort of move. What if you could do that? What if you could what if they were using your body as paint, and then you could psychically, even though you were dead because you're in this paint, you could screw up their painting, like make it run, make it blur, like just.
What isn't that what the suicide bombers do? They paint pretty pictures with all the colors of their interest.
The suicide bombers are like Banksy.
That's not where
I was thinking more Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, I was going to say the Pollock school of paint. Yeah,
that's extremely morbid. Professor Geek, you have a comic book, do you not?
I do have a campaign for Tales from the Stacks. Yes,
I got to get that on here. Tales of or Tales from?
Tales from the Stacks.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
It does look good. I gotta admit, every time I see it, I go, oh wow. Maybe get Professor Geek. Professor Geek, these guys are morbid. They're turning my channel into a freak show of morbidity. And part of it is John Malin's fault. All right, hold on.
Not at all.
Ever since you started using the cam, John, you're really coming out and being bold.
Whoa, coming out.
Next thing you know, you're going to join War Campaign.
Yeah, as soon as I can get an actual good internet service where I'm not all potato cammed out, then I think we'll really be rocking and rolling. But
Looks pretty good
is
connection
what
tonight.
it is. Oh, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying your connection, John.
Thank you.
Even though the things that you're using it to say are terrible. I mean, you know,
Ah.
in a way that's good though. Let's look at some John Malin artwork for fun here. This is John Malin's cover for Tales from the Stacks Volume 1. Who's Michael Kritzer?
That's me. That's Professor Geek. That's my. You stalks me. So no, no, I've always been out there with my real name. So yeah.
Said I don't know who he is, but he funds the campaign. He takes care. This is fantastic. John, this is a great cover, man. This doesn't look like stuff that you normally do.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's Kyle Ritter colors. That's why.
Yeah, that's effective. Kyle's colors are really, really good. He colored a bunch of stuff for me today. Tales from the Stacks. Look at this cover, man. This reminds me of Frank Quitely a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, Dave T. I'd love to hear that.
Very
that's Dave T. Geek who did that one. So.
Oh, cool. All right, so this is an anthology book, correct?
Yeah, it's a collection of 3 uncanny tales, as I call them. You can call them a horror anthology if you want, but the idea is to mimic like Tales from the Crypt or Twilight Zone, that kind of idea. So 3 short stories of horror or of uncanny terror, and they're all introduced by that creepy librarian, and he introduces you into the inner stacks of the library, and that's where they keep these stories away from the public eyes, that would unsettle them and whatnot. So yeah, I was always been fascinated with the short tale, the Poe-like length of a tale, which can really just you can be read in one sitting. Just everything is designed to hit you with one effect, kind of a gut punch, for one quick story. So all 3 stories are designed around that. And as it turned out, it ended up with an amazing collection of artists doing the interior of this book. I mean, I was very lucky to get John Malin to do that cover. That was great. And Kyung Lee's a part of it. He did a cover as well. And he's doing one of the stories in the interior. Illustrator Monk's doing another one. A great artist by the name of Ralph Del Mundo is doing a 3rd one. And then Dave T does the connective pages. So yeah, it's really exciting. I tell people, even if my writing, if you find out that that's horrible, it's still worth the money just to own this collection of art. So you haven't, and there's no gamble here whatsoever.
That's beautiful. It looks really, really cool. I'm usually, oh wow, this is really nice.
Yeah, that's Illustrator Monk. Yeah,
Illustrator Monk. What is he doing now?
He's doing this for me. I don't know what other projects he's working on. I think he's just kind of everything he posts on Twitter gets a big response. I don't know exactly what books he's working on after this, but I'm sure he's got a future because his stuff is great.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, I didn't even know about him. I mean, I've seen his name, but I didn't know his artwork. Look at Kyung here.
Yeah.
Who did this?
That is Dave T. Geek as well. That's the print. That was a limited variant cover because people loved the character there, the Lady Anana. That's the first story. She's an exotic sideshow dancer at a carnival, and 3 10-year-old boys are trying to sneak into her dressing room. That's the story. And things happen. But yeah, these are some prints, everything they can order. I learned a lot from this campaign, the campaign page. My next one will be much more streamlined. I learned a lot of lessons listening to you guys talk about, design of a campaign page and whatnot. But yeah, so.
Yeah. It takes a little while. I'm taking all this in. This looks like a really, really good project. It's in demand right now. I just put the link in the description. It looks like a lot of sexy kind of fun. I'm normally against anthologies because it's what SJWs do to kind of absolve themselves of responsibility for failure, which inevitably happens. I mean, Professor Geek, they get, the thing that Renfamous was working on.
Oh, yeah.
42 people, 42 creators on that book. It's like when it fails, and by the way, it only raised like what, $28,000 or something like that, maybe 30,000. That's not enough money to pay anyone anything after printing the book, and they're not even worried about money because they're just going to, I don't know, they're going to get socialism passed pretty soon.
Yeah, they got their message out there. Yeah.
But look, at the end of the day, you read it, and there are all these disparate stories that have nothing to do with anything that are all done by these losers who whine on Twitter. Then when you're done, when you go, this really sucked, who do I blame? There's nobody to blame. Like, you'd have to have 42 rails to run these people out of town. That's too many. Now, what you're doing here, first of all, everything looks great. You've got Kyung, you've got Malin, you've got Illustrator Monk. All of this artwork looks good. It looks like it's all based around a single theme of some, quick spooky horror stories and sex and scariness.
Sex and corpses.
Yeah, there's
no, not sex and corpses, John.
Oh.
This whole Night of the Loving Dead kick that you're on. Let's put a stop to this as soon as possible.
I tell people there's no actual. I mean, it is a very sexy book, but there's no actual nudity in it or no actual that kind of content in it. But it is very sexy, and each of the stories they are linked with sort of a coming of age, kind of a sexual awakening theme, you know. But again, nothing too terribly explicit within each.
I'm getting a refund then.
Well, I will say John Malin's cover, that's a scene from the story, so that is in there, you know.
I like it, John.
No fake news there.
No, I'm going to buy a few more copies now that I know what it's really about.
I was really looking forward to that sword scene where the sword comes down and.
Yeah, that's part of the first story. Lady Anana, she's a exotic sideshow, like a belly dancer, basically, and she does some sword dancing, and there's a moment where her sword liberates her torso from her top.
Oh dear. Oh me. Oh my. All right, this looks great. Links in the description, guys. All the books that I just showed you, including my own, are in the description. Cyberfrog Blood Honey is ending this Friday, guys. I decided to just put it down. You know, this Friday is going to be the end. It's been up for a while, so let's close this one out. And also, Cyberfrog Vampirella is still up. It's still going with the red foil variant. Wow, it did really well. If you guys haven't backed it yet, make sure that you do and choose the. You might want a silver foil variant. You might want a gold foil variant. You might want the red. You might want it signed. You might not. But have a look at the different. There are a lot of different tiers, but they're all just self-explanatory. They're just options. It's like going to Burger King and having it your way. Sounds good right now. No, I'm not. I'm watching what I eat. Carl O. Rose, incredible Death Sworn, by the way. An awesome book. We talked about it. Looks like you guys are picking up a bunch of Death Sworns. Thanks for supporting this campaign. You're at 99 backers. Carl.
Yeah. I want 100. I said to myself I'd get 100 before the weekend comes out, and let's get 100. Please.
Oh my gosh, the next backer who backs Death Sworn, and by the way, it's a great looking, awesome.
Oh, next backer who backs it, I'll give a free sketch card.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have tons of sketch cards. Look, here's a sketch card I have. That's a foldy one, so it folds. So there's the back, the two sketch cards, and
we just need one backer. You're gonna get a free bonus sketch card. And now people are gonna unback and then no.
Oh no, well no, it has to be the next one up from.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Carl's no fool. He's gonna notice.
I'm no fool. You can't trick me.
Yeah. So back this. We're gonna get it to 100. We've got City of Venus, of course, with Vinny T, who has a horrible microphone, and I think he left out of shame.
Beautiful art.
Oh look, he just hit 7,000, dude. He just hit 7. Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's huge. He's not even here to thank me after all the nice things I said about him. Well, maybe I didn't say it. I don't know.
Such a good looking.
It is a great looking book, man. I think looking at the women, looking at the way he draws women, people were into it. $7,020, and that's great news.
His sketchbooks there are amazing too. I grabbed the first one that's available with the campaign there. It's really good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Door Kicker's Panzer Demon. We've been talking about this one a lot tonight. I got this cool Narwhal variant cover, and of course, what's this artist's name again?
Ted Lehman.
Ted Lehman. I gotta remember that. He is awesome. I need to meet him. Sold a couple copies of that, you guys. Thank you. Graveyard Shift is what can I tell you? It is it's the best idea, the most colorful, the most fun idea, and the most commercially commercially viable concept that Comicsgate has, John.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think we have a lot of great commercial ideas out there, but yeah, I do lean towards my own. So, and Mark Polton as well, co-creator of Graveyard Shift, give him a shout out. Nobody ever knows Mark exists. I tell Mark, I'm like, Mark, get online, man, start doing YouTube.
Vinny's in the chat and he says he's ready to come back in.
Oh no, come on, Benny. You're gonna do it again. We just made you like $600. You're gonna come in with your microphone all crunked out. It's gonna be horrible. All right. Hold on. We'll let you back in, Benny.
It'll be great. Let Vinny pitch Graveyard Shift. I want to hear it all broke up.
No, we've got a million people waiting in the waiting room right now, Benny. You guys see this? We got Sweens, we got Chris from Iron Skies, we got Adam Post.
No, we can't see it. Only you can see it.
Only I can see it. Okay, I'm going to dismiss some of you, and I'm going to bring in some new guys. So, Carla Rowe, thank you for being here. You've been on the longest. I'll have you on again. Good luck to you. We'll get you to 100 tonight, definitely, and maybe pass.
Nice, man. Yeah, no, we already passed it. We already got it. I got the guy who's getting the free sketch card. So, yeah, thanks. Thanks so much.
Have a good one, Carl.
Yeah, easy, Carl.
All right, Scott, you can go too, my friend. I appreciate having you here. Thank you so much.
Ethan, I'll make room for somebody to hop in there as well. So I'm going to go work on a couple sketch cards. Cool.
Nice. Okay, thanks, John.
All right, everyone. Peace.
See you, John.
All right, let's let everybody else in here now. I think we've got, let's see, Iron Skies. Chris, we want to have in here. We want to get, I want to meet Sweens. And we'll get Adam Post in as well. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
what's
how's it
going on,
going, guys?
Good to see you.
Yeah, nice. This has been quite a night. Everyone is doing really, really well, and you know, we're getting all these new Comicsgate projects out there and circulating, so that people know what is up. All right, let's see. First, I want to introduce Adam Post, College of the Dead. How you doing tonight, Adam?
I'm doing really, really great. College of the Dead is doing great. We're up to just under 3,300. Which was very good for us. And we have 6 days left. We're on a flexible goal, so we're good to go with where we're at right now to ship everything. We had no problem with that. But the flexible goal is $5,000. So we're going to see what we're going to generate over the next 6 days. And we're going to push it, get some more action. Actually, I had just planned to do a stream at the same time as you before. So I just jumped on right after the stream.
Hold on. I'm going to show your book in a minute. I'm putting links up.
You know, I'm really excited to meet Sweens because I've been seeing Sweens all around everywhere. That art is really hot for your book.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing it. Really looking forward to seeing
Appreciate
it.
Yep.
But yeah, College of the Dead is, it's exciting to have it wrap up now. We did the what do we have? So it's like 6 days, and all the files are ready. The book's ready to go, and we're scheduled to ship and deliver in October 2019, but I'm just getting psyched to get the book out in people's hands and get the feedback, just to see people holding the books on Twitter and sending those pictures around.
Is Oddity up yet or no?
No, it drops September 1st.
Oh, I thought so. I'm still here for it. Like, what the hell?
If you want me to step out and let someone else in that has an active campaign, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Hang out.
All right.
Do you have a sign-up page yet, Sweens? Do you have a sign-up page where people can?
I did the mailing list that I sent out a few weeks ago, which is doing pretty well and stuff. But no, I don't have like the sign-up page on Indiegogo or anything along those lines.
Do you have a way that people can get to your mailing list?
Yeah, I've been blasting it out on Twitter nonstop. Like,
what's your Twitter address?
And stuff.
What's your Twitter address?
It is Sweens_07. And
cool.
I'm constantly blasting out updates on the book. I've released pretty much all the art that I've done so far. I want people to see exactly what I'm, giving them. So,
excellent. So when you
basically
just remember to tell people that again after you hopefully get to show some artwork from Oddity tonight.
For sure.
So people have a way to find you. It's great to see you, Scott. I see Scott almost every night. It's great.
Yeah.
We have a relationship now on different streams, and great to see Professor Geek. Always a privilege, my friend.
Oh yeah, good to see you.
And then Chris, I never get to see enough. Chris is a hard man to reach. Chris is very, very, very busy. No, but come on. You're a man, you're making money, and you're taking care of business. And you're making a gorgeous comic. Gorgeous comic.
This is College of the Dead by Adam Post, who has taken over my show.
Sorry.
That's he's half speed Tucci. If you might have noticed, Adam Post is Tucci at half speed. People have noticed that they sound a lot alike. I mean, and again, you are exactly like Tucci in another way too. It's fun. Like you are, you are a showman. You are somebody who can talk things through and get people psyched about things. You're a good pitchman. You've got College of the Dead, this incredibly fun zombie comic. Look at this art here, dude. What is this?
That's awesome.
That's the cover of College of the Dead book 2, which is just about almost finished. I just love the property. I love the idea of College of the Dead. It's a zombie apocalypse that takes place on a college campus. And I was like, why? This is how I create everything, because I've made comics for a while before this, but it's almost like, why wouldn't someone do this? Why not have a zombie apocalypse where students and professors, like, they have to kind of deal with a whole zombie attack? And, it's just interesting to see college students under pressure, but a different kind of pressure. So zombies attacking them. So this is the cover that Javier did. It's the same artist for College of the Dead 1, for College of the Dead book 2. And there are going to be a couple of other covers that Javier's work on as well. That's going to be a much bigger, even more heavily promoted campaign.
I told Adam the other night on my own stream that as a college professor, I can attest to how much this cover with the zombie graduates is extremely meta.
I gotta say, I'm really disturbed by this one here. This is a little too real.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't want to know, but I suspect.
What happened?
Reference. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's. But in any case, I used to do this all the time. Like, I would draw like scary things, and I would look up pictures of dead bodies on Google to use as reference. And so it's like, yeah that's.
This is Ethan. I'm sure you see this. So you get to work with a publisher. You get to work with, another collaborator that respects what everybody does. And it's like, look, take your time, do your best work. This is a beautiful cover that Javier did. If I told him, listen, I need it right tomorrow, and you've got to do, like, all right, he'll bang it out. He'll get it to me as quick as he can. But we took our time to, like, we had really good reference to work from. We knew what the theme of it was going to be.
Yeah.
We went through a couple of iterations, and then it's very, very cool. This is actually this piece is probably the best thing that I've produced in a while, but it's not even colored yet.
I wouldn't color it. I would leave it the way it is.
No color, right?
I wouldn't color this. Like, honestly, I saw this piece. This looks better than Walking Dead.
Yeah.
This piece has better zombies. It looks creepier. It's upsetting. Like, it makes me upset. I like it a lot. It's really good.
Ethan, the other night, me and Adam were on together, and I said, "This is like, I'll see your Walking Dead and raise you."
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
And Javier did all the art. No other artist has done anything for College of the Dead just yet, except the gorgeous and talented Rainbow Brute looking Kyle Ritter, who colored the cover. And he did a gorgeous job. He did a gorgeous job. But you wouldn't color it. So then I won't.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to ask other people. But the fact that, Walking Dead is already kind of line art like this, it's already black and white, makes me feel like maybe you don't need to. Like, people are already accustomed to it. And it has a look about it that just, if you colored this, I mean, God, what if their face is going to be green? It might ruin it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I would say no.
Yeah. Well, people like it. People really, really like it.
You could do the black and white as a variant.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we could color it and see what it looks like, and then, compare it. But so it's if you like something, it's good to sometimes just leave it the hell alone and move on to the next thing. I want to do like something sexy for another College of the Dead cover, like a zombie girl doing a selfie of herself, or women being attacked in a sorority by other zombie sorority girls. We have to do like a couple of fun, sexy things, and I actually haven't let Javier do that yet. It just hasn't kind of come up yet. But we're talking about a lot of stuff like that, but not as a series, just like as another cover.
Yeah, the whole book looks great, man. The artwork looks fantastic. It's fun.
Thanks,
I'm a big zombie fan, so I'm already interested in this right out of the gate, but it looks cool as hell.
Yeah,
I like the 2 panel per page thing too. That's kind of a little different.
Oh, is that what it is? It's 2 panels per page?
Yeah, Ethan, it's 2 panels per page. And I designed it that way. I had ideas of I went through it. I'm very big on suspension of disbelief. You know, I want people to be able to read the comic and forget that they're reading the comic. And if people look at the 12 pages here in sequence, you start to read it, you follow it, it flows very smoothly. The writer is Stefan Petrucci. He's an excellent writer. And you really feel like you're in a zombie apocalypse. Like you really just, within a few pages, you're really there. And the idea was, all right, I want to take away all the constraints from a storytelling standpoint from not feeling like that you are living in part of the story. So we did this. And the thing is you don't know how anything is going to come out until you do it. So like you can imagine what a format might be like, but until you actually do the format, you just kind of don't know. So I've been living with these prototype books now for nearly a year. I've had like the close to final versions of them. And I love it. And we also made an ash can. And it's funny because this was like so unique. I haven't really seen anyone else quite do it this way. We took the full script because Stefan works from full script, which means it's detailed instructions about what he wants the artist to draw, but also along with some photo reference. And we included the photo reference. So the ash can's got the full script with the photo reference and then has the pencil layout on the opposite page of what the layouts were from the artist Javier, and then those were the layouts that then got approved, that then we executed the whole comic. So that winds up being another separate 100-page book, which I didn't even know if it would look right because I'd never done a book like that before. So it's just like, let's lay it out and see what it looks like. So we laid it out. But one of the designers is like that I work with was like, I don't know about it. I'm like, but it's so I like it. If I like it, I think when people see it, they'll like it. And I've gotten very good feedback on it, and it really works. You can't do that for every comic, but you can do that when you have something special, like, even, I don't know if you ever considered for Cyberfrog or whatnot, but when people get to see something momentous kind of coming together and like how it got made, it's great insight. And then from an educational perspective, Professor can back me up, but from an educational perspective, it's great to have those instructions to storytelling along with it.
That's great. That's cool. Then, all right. People are backing it, man. People are
awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You're gonna love it, and we're gonna get this shipped to you, and we're gonna deliver 100%.
Fantastic. All right, so let's leave that there for a minute. Let's go take a look at Chris from Iron Skies. Chris, I'm happy that you're on the show, my friend. Chris Rowe.
Howdy. Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I've been wanting to have you on. I think I got you on once or twice, but I mean, I wanted you to be a regular because this book is one of my favorites. It's just one of my favorites that's available right now. Some absolutely beautiful artwork, and it looks like you met your goal, but I think it should be much higher than this. Can you tell me a little bit about Iron Skies?
Yeah, so Iron Skies is a steampunk meets sorcery sort of adventure. It starts off in very much you get the steampunk aspect, and you right from the start, I believe really from panel 1. And then it's not until it progresses that the world starts to really unfold and you start to meet more characters and you understand more along the lines of like the sorcery aspect and the factions and everything else. But somebody put a poll up on Twitter and they were like, hey, what kind of writing do you like? And I was like, I personally love a touch of the grand. I like things at scale. I like things to have a sense of just monstrous proportions, and then it's told through the human lens of the characters that you have available. But Iron Skies specifically follows the crew of an ill-omened airship that has to navigate a treacherous course through the maelstrom of a shattered kingdom. Their forces are going to collide, and legends are going to fall. Heroes will rise, and their world is going to be scarred forever. There's just no good position. There's no safe haven. Airships are hunting through the skies. Gladiators are dying on the sand. Magi have demons that they have to contend with. And there's a whole area where just untold horrors ride at the edge of reality. So I think that if you like a lot of the fantastical sort of elements, if you like political backstabbing, plots, scheming, and then good old-fashioned badass action, along with just beautiful artwork. I mean, you can see it on the screen right there. Like, Dijo Lima is a fantastic colorist. Renan Shoddy's artwork is mind-blowing. He put together, I'm not showing it on my campaign because I want it to be a surprise when people see it. But my 2-page spread is just one of the most gorgeous things I think I've ever seen in comics. It's amazing. The level of detail that he put into it is mind blowing. So yeah, it's a high octane. It is definitely at least 16 plus. There is a good amount of violence. There's a smidge of nudity. There is some sexual themes and things like that. Basically, I kind of hit all the primal notes as best I can. There's sex, drugs, betrayal, murder, vengeance, just everything that it works at the core of humanity, basically.
Sounds like comics
drivers. So, and then the rest of it, man, it's just, I don't know. I've been telling this story for a decade now to family, basically, and so that's kind of why I was like, man, I just got to get it like out. I mean, and then I happened to find some awesome artists, and then Kanan White did that cover that you've got up right there, and I'm going to offer that in both black and white and color, and so you can get either or you can get both covers for a $5 discount. Yeah, I've already sold out of the original artwork. Thanks to that. Yeah, thank you last time. Yeah, that was fantastic. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm stoked as can be for this, and I hope everyone else is, because I wanted to showcase the artwork right off the bat, because that's something that you can use to start judging your comic by. Because the storytelling, like a storyteller it takes time to see whether or not they're going to be worth it. But artwork, you can tell right off the bat, and you can tell if somebody has the degree of attention to detail and care about their setting, their characters and whatnot, that they don't allow themselves lower quality or to cut corners or anything of the sort. That's why I have run with kind of an extended timetable, is because I've told my artists, I was like, dude, you take the time you need to take. I will pay you as much as much as we agreed on, sort of thing. Like, because I was like, I don't want to haggle too much. I really want you to be happy and be able to put in the time. I don't want you to feel rushed and like you got to go page after page after page, because this is my attempt to break into comics. And he's already done a few, but I think he's really happy with this project now. He was like, yeah, man, I want to do as many of these as we possibly can.
Awesome.
He's also awestruck with Mr. Van Sciver here, which, of course, but it was like, how did it go up so fast? Because he's operating out of Brazil right now, and he's worked for Zenoscope and a few other publishers. And I explained to him, I was like, oh well, Ethan Van Sciver. He was like, wait, from DC? And I was like, yeah, that guy. So no, it was pretty awesome. My whole team has been an absolute dream to work with, though. And Iron Skies is, I don't know, if you like high fantasy, if you like Full Metal Alchemist, you like Lord of the Rings, if you like things like that, you're going to feel right at home. If you like steampunk, you should feel right at home. If you like Dragon's Age sort of thing, you should feel right at home. And Cowboy Bebop is kind of also where like the crew dynamic sort of thing came from. So if you, some of the weebs out there, fellow weebs, you know, I think that I've kind of made, it's kind of a niche comic, but I think it could be a home for a massive fan base if everybody wants to give it a shot.
Well, the next person who backs it is going to push it over 15,000. So let's get some more backers on this. This is awesome. It is obviously it's a book of quality. It is an incredible, incredible project. Chris is obviously a big look. He's been talking about this comic with his family. This is what storytelling used to be. You know, you just sort of have a story in your heart and your head. You tell the story over and over again until you have the resources and time to be able to tell it in a way that can reach a larger audience. I love it. I just think this book looks great and it sounds cool. The art is phenomenal. I poured over this artwork with him. Look at the backgrounds here.
Yeah.
This is where the money goes. This is where the money goes when you actually have an artist who will put his time into drawing an entire cityscape like this in like 3-point perspective. This takes time. It takes work. This is love, and this is something that you're going to look at more than once. And that's that's what comics should be. You know, Chris, I used to say that if you could get somebody to read a comic book twice, you're halfway on the way to a classic comic. Because most comics are just read once and thrown over your shoulder, or thrown into the fireplace. Like Yellow Flash would do. But that's the thing. I mean, actually doing work like this that gets people, I mean, to be able to stare and go deeper into this world. That is what comics should be, and it's what comics should do. So I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited about Iron Skies. Happy to promote it. And
thank you. Awesome. And so there is our next stretch goal, since we're probably going to hit 15K tonight, and that'll unlock the poster I had done by a guy named the Durian. Will be doubling the size of the comic, and so instead of a 12-part, it's going to be a 6-part comic, or a 6-part run, and that means by the time I run all 6 campaigns, if I hit that next one, it'll be right around 500 pages all in all, the whole story. Wow. But each comic will be roughly 80 to 100, depending on which part of the arc you're in. If it's in 6 parts, if it's in 6 parts. If it's in 12, each one will be right around 40 to 60, depending on which arc you're in.
Hey, Chris, if you were going to work on any of these other projects that you've seen tonight, which one moves you the most that you would go do a guest star spin on?
Probably Vinny. His has been really cool. I liked Vinny's campaign a lot, and he's the one I followed the most. I'm also really keen on Sween's Oddity.
Thank you.
It's like those are the 2 that I've seen that really jog with me the most. But I mean, I like Adam's Zombies. I mean, I've liked all of them. They all seem quality. So. If I'm not trying to leave anyone out,
no.
You have to pick one.
Yeah, right. If I have to pick one,
and Vinny is cool,
Yeah, Vinny, cool. And we all love him. I'm honestly slightly intimidated by Graveyard Shift, so I think that might be the only reason that's not one that's right at the very top. Because, yeah, yeah,
very cool door kickers.
I'm crazy about door kickers too. I want to see this comic do better. Guys, take another look at Door Kickers by Scott McCullough.
Hey, Ethan. Nice for you to mention Door Kickers again. I was, one of the things that Chris said. First of all, I want to say Iron Skies, I think, is probably one of the best looking books that's out there right now. But one of the things he said is kind of struck home with me too, is that I've got a team that's just wonderful that's doing this book, and with the exception of Ted, they've all done stuff pro work before, except for really me. I've been plugging away as a writer for over 20 years now, but this is really my first opportunity to put a book in front of people. So I absolutely feel the same way as Chris as far as kind of making sure I put my best foot forward and really getting a good quality product out there. And this is really a work of passion for me. Like I know all these guys are, Professor Geek, I was on his show the other night. We talked about his book. I mean, we've all really, and Adam, I know he's very passionate about that project he's working on. Freaking Zombies are awesome. But this is just a great cross section of that new Comics Gate. And I'm so happy to be part of it.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. It's good to have you here. All right. So let's, I want to meet Sweens, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to meet.
What's going on, guys? Here I am in all my glory,
dude.
I shot you a. Now I'm getting the Kyle Ritter treatment now. I shot you. I shot you a link to my Dropbox. That has all my art on it. If you want to go through that, whatever, pull some stuff up.
So we're doing a cover together. I'm drawing Cyberfrog. I'm gonna send you over the Cyberfrog. He'll take up one half of the page, and you're gonna draw Oddity on the other half of the page.
Mm-hmm. I can't even believe it. Like, it's so awesome to hear that. Like, I really appreciate it.
Frog artists need to jam.
Right? Exactly.
Sweet. Is your character a frog also?
He's like a mutated teenager frog. It's Oddity's like it's a real throwback to like late 80s, early 90s Ninja Turtles. Like, that was a huge thing when I was a kid. just kind of like the over the top horror from the 80s. It's got some of that in it. It's just a fun book. Like, it's silly. It's not. There's nothing serious about it.
Uh-oh.
Persuading, thinking differently. What's that?
Oh, there we go. He's back.
For a sec. You're good.
Oh, did I go? Did I go robot?
Yeah, you're
on
good.
you
You're
guys or
back.
something?
You froze.
But
for a
no,
minute.
it's. Sorry.
You're back. You're back. You're good. Sween, so you're going to launch your book September 4th, did you say?
September 1st. Yeah.
1st. Okay. That's
Yep.
good.
And,
I'm excited
yes.
about that. We're gonna get you on here. We're gonna talk about Oddity, which is probably going to that looks like it's gonna do really, really well. Oddity,
Thank you.
You've been promoting the character and everything. I've seen Oddity for like a year now.
Yeah, I've been
like now
been
it's
at it
time
for
to
a
launch
year.
the book, Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't want to launch until I had the entire book finished, the 48 pages that my writer and I had planned, but people kept harassing me on Twitter. They're like, just launch it. Like, we trust you that you'll finish the book. So I was like, fine, whatever. Like, let's do it. Like, I'll launch it. So, that's how it went.
Everybody get ready for it because Oddity looks like it looks fun. There's going to be a Cyberfrog team up cover with it. It's going to be very, very cool. Let me read some super chats real quick, and then we're going to go back and we're going to check and see, go over the campaigns one more time. Guys, thank you so much for sending super chats. I do appreciate it. Wow, there are a lot of them too. Okay, so yeah, thank you. Sorry. Okay. Kenny Jones says, Ethan, thank you for your work in Comicsgate and giving me that escapism. Thank you and all the Comicsgaters. Yeah, it's still important, guys. We got to, Comicsgate is still a thing. It's still very important that we, promote each other. I say this at the end of all these streams, but some of you have already left. I've changed out. We did a changing of the guard. But if anyone's still listening, I mean, it is so important. Most of you are already doing this, but just a reminder, it's so important that you guys promote yourselves and each other.
Yeah.
It's important that you get into the spirit of what Comicsgate should be from a professional or creator kind of community, and do treat it kind of like a community amongst yourselves. When you see that Professor Geek has tweeted out an ad for his own book, everybody should be retweeting it. Follow each other. Professor Geek will then retweet all of your ads for your comics. Get together, be on each other's YouTube shows, promote your books, and also promote your own platforms so that you can all grow individually and do very, very well. I mean, someone like John Malin, his platform is big enough now. He doesn't need to be on here. John Malin just comes and goes because he knows he's gonna sell his next issue of Graveyard Shift without anyone's help, but he's still going to help others, and that's largely what this is. It's got to be a community of self-promotion and everyone promoting each other if it's going to succeed. So Comicsgate is important. Kenny Jones, thank you for that. I think it is the future of independent comics. This kind of networking is everything. Orbital 1970 Goat says, did Moto Gecko make it from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? He was cool too. No, he would have died. He probably would have died first. Mr. Belvedere says, do you own rights to any regular soups? Any regular superheroes, you mean? No, I don't think so. I think all of the characters that I own a piece of over at DC and Marvel are villains, except for the X-Men. I mean, I have Beak, the Stepford Cuckoos, Glob Herman, Angel, but like the new Angel, not Warren Worthington. Those are the only heroes I really own, I think. King Achura says, is Crazy KK alive in the Cyberfrog universe? She never existed. Michael Von Doom says, Tom Cruise can be a vigilante in Cyberfrog. Orbital 1970 Goat says, wait, you're saying Dale Earnhardt is still alive? Yeah, probably. He's still, everybody who died post 1998 probably survived, if they died in an accident, because they wouldn't have had that accident. Gimp Rider 66 says Clinton would be chasing Heather, probably. Unhinged Crank says Trump survived, Melania didn't. Argentico 2003 says, being that Heather is too old for Bill, will you include any love interest in his age range? You'll see. Unhinged Crank says, so he has to procreate with Ivanka. Dancing Mike says, at my local Walmart today, there was an end cap with clearance Marvel items. One whole section was packed with Captain Brie action figures. I took a picture of that at Target. All of the Captain Marvel Barbies have been marked down to $5 now. And I think they were like $30 originally. So that's pretty substantial.
I've seen that here too.
At that price, I was tempted to buy one to review it, to do a funny review that upset people. But even at $5, it's too much. Crazy Maynard 2003 says Captain Marvel has sold more on home video in 8 weeks, 53 million, than Aquaman has in 20, 44 million. Give it up. Lots of people genuinely like that movie. Okay. If you say so. Cracklin says the new Spider-Man has already made more money overseas than Captain Misandry did in its entire overseas income. Unhinged Crank says, let Hunter take over Sonny and Chair stream. That's funny. Favi Sharp says, wear a tennis elbow band. Fixed mine completely. Tennis elbow band. What is that? Randy McBranderson says, the most important thing likely is your posture at the computer, the angle your wrists are resting on the mouse, keyboard, etc. Sean Davis said, everyone get out and back Pillowman and Blanket Boy. Michael Beacon says, 7legions.cov is up. Go see the power of this mostly armed and somewhat operational promotional page for my upcoming campaign. Hi, Carl. Do you know Michael Beacon? Oh, Carl's not in here anymore. All right. Well-read user one says, awesome book, backed. Comicsgate is at a crossroads. Creators are forgetting what it's like to work for someone and self-censor. Burn bridges. EVS was right. Yeah, I have to admit, guys, there's a tremendous amount of freedom in, working for yourself. You can do whatever you want. It's like I slap SJWs back pretty hard on Twitter. I wouldn't have been able to do that working at DC. I'm just like, I'm my own boss. And in fact, it's part of my job to be rude.
But it's not for everybody.
It's like, it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to be able to kind of do your own thing.
You have a lot of freedom and you can handle it. And some people don't do well when they have that much freedom. They need to be told, do this, do this, do this to earn a living. And others don't. And your focus on customers is going to always protect you from an income standpoint, because you're always concerned, are you delivering for your customer, not for your publisher who's then doing whatever to the customer. So it works.
Yeah. And I'm not delivering for my customer right now. I'm desperate, guys. I cannot wait for Cyberpunk Blood.
Very soon. Very soon. Bindery's going to be right.
It's driving me insane.
Skulls are going to explode when that comes out.
Yeah, I will feel like right now. I feel like I've got like a camel on my shoulders at all times. I'm like, oh, where is? And it's
how are you to keep the grift going if people actually get books? Because you have to pay for those. I don't understand how the grift works.
It's true. It is true. Well, then we can just do it again, though. It's to SJWs, the grift is actually just doing this. Even if you complete it, it's still a grift. So we will continue the grift, and we will do Rainbow the Brute, and that's going to be great. And this time I know what I'm doing, so it'll be much easier. Eddie Winkler, thanks for $5. Andrew Huerta says, don't listen to John. It sounds like a setup. Bow ties are cool, says a lot of Louisiana graves are above ground because most of the state is below sea level. Waffle says, Wark Wade would paint Ethan into an SJW comic. Are you sure you want that? Just a furry weirdo looking out for you, Uncle E. Thank you, Waffles. Raging Golden Eagle says, colleges are already full of zombies.
Yes, they are.
I got a 600 yen that was retracted, but another 600 yen from Daddy Duder Pop Culture says, nice chat, guys. Zombies are cool. Can you give a shout out to my Indiegogo campaign? Nin Nin Ninny. Love ninjas. Love dogs. You're going to love Nin Nin Ninny.
I love that name.
Yeah.
I just liked one of his tweets today. He's going to be around, that guy.
Indie Dave Comics says Oddity launches in 2 weeks. Wait, who is Indie Dave Comics? I thought that was you, Sweens.
No, Indie Dave's my writer. I created the character and drew all these pages, and then I hired on a writer. And it's a little backwards, but we're making it work.
No, that's good. That's a good process. Yeah. Idea man, and then the writer executes. Same thing with me.
Yeah. Yep. That's Dave.
Zig Comics says, great show, EBS. Can't wait to show you all Magic Cop, the 80s crime fantasy comic. The launch is tomorrow at 11 a.m. And if you love Miami Vice and Monsters, you'll love Magic Cop with a new cover by Jerkmonger otherwise known as Elliot Fernandez. Sounds cool. We'll promote that. Mike Lombardo says, I heard FMA and Bebop. I'm buying that book. Angry Liquid says, just back to Iron Skies. Just an observation. Sweens looks like Chester Bennington.
Hey, but I'm breathing.
Vogus Fortune says, remember to retweet Kyle Ritter's Starblades every day. That's everybody's job. Stephen Cruz says, F yeah for Tales of the Stacks. And that's it. I'm very excited about all these books, gentlemen. We've got some good stuff happening right now. And I think people are succeeding. We need people to succeed even more gloriously. Door Kickers, of course. We saw a little bump there, and we're excited about that. Deathsworn, which is now over 100 backers. It's at 106 backers now.
Very cool.
So that is good. City of Venus as well. I'm refreshing these one more time before we go. Graveyard Shift isn't going to get nothing. And it didn't, because John was only in here for a second. Tales from the Stacks also did pretty good. We just got another little bump there.
Yeah.
Nice. College from the Dead.
College of the Dead.
College of the Dead is enormous. You guys have to back that one. And Iron Skies. Yes, we got it to 15.
Hey. Very awesome. Very cool.
Cyberfrog Blood Honey is great, guys. Thank you so much for supporting that. We're going to end that on Friday. Vampirella Red Foil variant. Also has 21 days left on that. I want to thank you guys for being here, for being a part of the show. You guys are all welcome. And everyone in the chat, thank you. Now we're going off the air. If you're watching this later, if you're watching this not live like most people do, make sure to look at the books. The links are all in the description. Shop them. Choose one or two of them. Choose all of them that you want to support if you're able to. And we will see you again tomorrow with another live stream, another Comicsgate Live.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much, Ethan.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ethan.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Later, guys.